These women aren't simple. Emo looked at the frozen beautiful women and frowned. With such terrifying coldness, ordinary people would have cracked into nothing. How could they maintain this look? Emo took out the map. The map didn't show these women, but the scene shown on the map was clearly this place. There should be an ice river if he walked along this mountain. Emo controlled Blue Moon to go in carefully and found there was indeed a long ice river. There was no water inside the river, just ice. There were all sorts of strange-shaped ice stones on the side of the banks as well as long ice shards. There were also other ice figures, but they weren't women anymore. There were all sorts of people. Some even maintained a battle position, others were missing hands or heads. Shan Bingfeng said she once came here. What power level was she? Was she hollow spirit state as well? If she was and she didn't have a magic artifact like Blue Moon, Emo wouldn't believe she could come here alone. Or perhaps there wasn't this bone-chilling frost when she came, but that was impossible. Without it, this place wouldn't be called Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Emo took out the map and looked at it carefully again. He found he was right, this was the place. Emo kept flying Blue Moon along the riverbed, and after another 2 hours, Emo felt something was wrong. There were some frozen bodies before, but the more he traveled, the fewer the bodies. Eventually the river and the two sides were barren. Emo took out the map again, and he found he didn't seem to be on the wrong route. It's not right, brother. The map shows that the ice river gets wider and wider, but it's getting more and more narrow for us. Tang Bei suddenly pointed. Emo looked carefully. It was indeed so. He really looked at the map wrong. Perhaps he went the wrong way. Emo was about to change directions when the ice river suddenly cracked open without warning. Go in quickly. Emo pushed Tang Bei inside and pulled out the octagonal cauldron. Rumble, rumble. After the huge sound, there was suddenly a powerful suction force at the cracked part of the ice river. This reminded Emo of the swamp. Emo instantly controlled Blue Moon to speed away. Luckily, with Winter's arrival's help, Blue Moon wasn't slowed down by the frost and rapidly charged out of the suction range. Emo turned around and looked at the crack, which disappeared as though it had never appeared. Before Emo could recover, he felt a dense spirit chi. It was the same feeling as the spirit marrow pond in the herb valley. It was comfortable to the extreme. He felt he only took in some of the spirit chi and his power grew. Such dense spirit chi! Lin Yibin called out in shock. Emo didn't control Blue Moon to leave here. He looked at this ice river and realized why there was nothing around here. With the appearance of that crack and the terrifying suction force, anything would be sucked away. Just a small portion of spirit chi seeping out of the crack made him feel so good. What if he cultivated inside? Emo didn't dare to imagine it. But Emo didn't dare to go down. He wasn't alone now. What if there was some danger there? Suddenly, Lin Yibin saluted with his fists to Emo. City Lord? Emo knew what he wanted to say and asked, do you want to go into the riverbed? Lin Yibin nodded firmly. Yes, City Lord. The spirit chi down there is extraordinary. It's clearly a good place for cultivation. I think I'll stay in this cultivation level for my entire life if I don't get a place like this to cultivate. But if I go in there, I might be able to reach truth realization state. Emo looked back at Luoying and them and suddenly said, in that case, let's go in together. He was furious to the extreme that Jiling was killed by Infinity Sect. Ever since he had come to South Peace State, he had been taken care of and helped by Jiling many times. Even a good guy like Jiling was killed. It could be said that Jiling had only provided help to the South Peace State cultivation realm and no harm. Many big sects defense formations were set up by him, and yet someone like him was killed. How could Emo feel good? Even if he was to die, he would get revenge for Jiling. If he wanted revenge, he needed power. If he wanted power, he needed a good place to cultivate. Clearly the riverbed was a good place to go. Emo didn't ask Luoying and them. He knew that they would follow him no matter where he went. Emo stopped Blue Moon, but that crack didn't appear again. He waited till midday on the third day and decided to stop waiting. Just when he was about to keep searching for the spirit marrow place, the crack appeared again. The suction force came, but Emo didn't escape with Blue Moon this time. He tried to reduce Blue Moon's speed, but even so, Blue Moon fell down with a terrifying speed like a comet. With past experience, Emo kept throwing out formation flags, and luckily it wasn't as cold as above, so the formation flags didn't freeze. Couldn't stop Blue Moon, but it slowed them down. Rumble. Blue Moon smashed into the river bed, but luckily no one was hurt. Lin Yibin was a body condensation state cultivator, and he got off with Sutong from Blue Moon first. He immediately said in surprise and joy, "This place has no cold. The spirit chi is really terrifyingly dense. This is the best place for cultivation. It's better than eating any spirit pill." Emo also got off, and the rest of the people did so as well. Emo put away Blue Moon and studied this place. There was nothing else but the dense spirit chi and some fine sand. This fine sand extended to a distant place. One couldn't see the end of it. Even if one scanned with spirit sense, it would strangely disappear. "This isn't Ice God Forbidden Grounds," Lin Yibin said with certainty. "I heard my father say that even hollow spirit states wouldn't be able to get in the outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds without help. Inside Forbidden Grounds is even more dangerous. You can lose your life at any time. But this place only has dense spirit chi but no danger." Emo nodded in agreement. If he didn't have winter's arrival to suck the frost around Blue Moon, even if he could come in, it would be a month or two later, and this was if his Blue Moon didn't break. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get out. Emo thought of the frozen bodies. Perhaps they didn't have good armor or flying magic artifacts to protect them. That's why they died. Since this place opens every 3 days, then how come only we can come inside? Tang Beiwei asked. Yeah, that's true, they weren't the only ones coming to the Forbidden Grounds. Why was nobody else here? There was no way people wouldn't come here for fear of danger. Wait, since this place has that powerful suction force, the things pulled in before should be here. But how come I see nothing but fine sand? Gan Liang asked. Emo suddenly had a bad feeling. If there was nothing else here, where did the sand come from? Thinking about this, he suddenly felt Shadowless grow restless in the Golden Page world. He saw Shadowless fly next to Blue Moon and open its mouth, sucking in some sand. This gave Emo a strange feeling, as the sand seemed worried when being devoured by Shadowless. But Shadowless was very active. Emo felt that it was very happy. Emo thought, why did Shadowless eat the fine sand? Why would sand have emotions? Emo instantly had a bad feeling. There was something wrong with the fine sand. He immediately called out, "Nobody move!" Miao Warren and Gan Liang were planning to search along the fine sand but immediately stopped. He quickly took out Mist Lotus Heart Fire and instantly covered everyone. Everyone had a layer of Mist Lotus Heart Fire covering them. Other than Miao Warren and Huang Lanlan, no one else even flinched. Emo felt very assured with Lin Yibin and Sutong's reaction. Lin Yibin was body condensation state tertiary stage, and Sutong was body condensation state middle stage. If they wanted to resist, it would be very easy, but they didn't do so. Now that they were enveloped by his heaven flame, even though they were body condensation state, he could kill the two at any time. Yet even in this situation, the two didn't move. Emo knew they were set on following him. Emo wasn't going to burn them, of course. He swept with the flame, and all the sand below them disappeared, along with the sand around them. Where people stood showed ground without the fine sand. It was a grayish-white rock. Emo put away the heaven flame, and Lin Yibin asked in shock, "Is that fine sand area alive?" Emo nodded. After the flame had cleared the fine sand, there was a faint stench in the air. Why didn't they move if they were alive? What are they? Why do they look like fine sand? Xianxia asked in confusion. Then, the empty space burned away by Yemo's flame started having fine sand appear again. They seemed to have moved over from the distance. It was slow, but it never seemed to stop. So disgusting. Huang Lanlan frowned. Emo threw down tens of formation flags and said heavily, "If I'm not wrong, this fine sand is a rare spirit bug called Spirit Devouring Bug." Spirit Devouring Bug? Lin Yibin called out in shock. Emo nodded. Yes, they are probably spirit devouring bugs, but not completely. The spirit devouring bug was ranked under the fire-eating bug, but it wasn't weaker than it. It was ranked 11th, and once matured, it had terrifying offensive capabilities. It was even faster than fire-eating bug. Master, why aren't they completely spirit-devouring bug? Are they scary? Xianxia subconsciously neared Luo Fei. The fine sand already seemed disgusting just knowing it was alive, much less standing on it. Emo threw down a few formation flags and set up a defense formation, not allowing the sand from outside to come in. Spirit-devouring bugs devoured all that had spirit chi regardless whether it was alive or dead. These bugs are probably just eggs and haven't hatched. If they hatched, they wouldn't be slow like before. Huang Lanlan shivered. Big Brother Yi, you're saying that even though they are eggs they would still slowly devour us, right? Luo Fei answered this time. The things sucked into here before are all gone. Everyone fell silent. Clearly the things that fell in here before were devoured by these eggs. Even the stones with spirit chi were devoured. Luckily Master has flame, and if they come we can burn them. Xianxia broke the silence. Lin Yibin smiled bitterly but didn't explain. Emo had heaven flame but there were countless spirit-devouring bugs. Could he burn them constantly with heaven flame? Emo's cultivation essence would dry up first before all the bugs were burned. Emo wasn't worried about this, he was thinking about when and if the bugs hatched, would their offensive power increase hundreds of times? Brother, what do we do? Tang Beiwei subconsciously walked to Emo. This place must have an extreme grade spirit range or people wouldn't leave the eggs to hatch here. Emo said with certainty. Ha! Tang Beiwei exclaimed. You're saying that someone left these eggs here? Definitely, this suction force is also a formation. Emo saw it clearly now. This place was different than the Zhao River swamp. Spirit sense couldn't scan out of here due to the formation. If all the spirit-devouring bugs hatched, then even a sect would disappear in the blink of an eye. These eggs only needed dense spirit chi to hatch. Later on they would then need to devour some live spirit containing bodies like cultivators or spirit beasts. This formation isn't open for long, meaning that even if people came here before, there wouldn't be a lot. But soon, there would be more and more people coming here, Emo said with certainty. He didn't explain as the spirit-devouring bugs had begun to mature. They would need large amounts of cultivators to devour. Only then could they hatch. After they hatched, they wouldn't need cultivators to come in. They could find a place with dense spirit chi to evolve themselves. This was a long process and clearly the person setting up the formation had already thought of it. Even though Emo knew what this place was about, he couldn't leave. Emo was a level 6 formation great master, but he couldn't even see the corner of this formation, much less break free. That person wasn't scared that no one would come as once this river bed opened. That dense spirit chi was irresistible. Himself and Lin Yibin were an example, they came in of their own will. There would be more cultivators wanting to come in here. No one could resist this dense spirit chi. Anyone would want to find out about this place. Death wasn't a threat to cultivators. Only after a certain amount of time with no people coming out alive would people gradually stop coming. It could be said that the cultivator who set everything up here had a very clear grasp on cultivators' mentality. Thinking about this, Emo's back began to sweat. He thought of that space-devouring spirit in the Herb Valley and the Truth Fall Palace Level 7 Invisible Master. Would this all be done by the same person? If that was the case, what did this person want to do? Did he want to rule the entire cultivation realm or annihilate it? No one spoke. Emo cast these thoughts aside and smiled. Perhaps this is the place we wanted to find. I'm not sure if there's spirit marrow here, but I'm sure there's something on par with it. But these eggs? Lin Yibin asked. Emo nodded. We don't need to care about them for now. Let's find the source of the dense spirit chi. After we pull away the spirit chi, these bugs will die themselves. These bugs were powerful, but there were strict conditions for them to hatch. Without dense spirit chi, they would die quickly. Just when Emo was about to pave the way with Shadowless, there was another loud rumble. Another flying magic artifact smashed down tens of meters from them. Emo and them didn't move, for cultivators got off the flying magic artifact. They were 4 body condensation states. They saw Emo and them immediately. Hey! The sand you can't. Huang Lanlan just said half a sentence before she was dragged behind Luo Fei. After Luo Fei's sect was annihilated and she was abandoned by the person she loved, she was no longer the same her as before. She had completely matured. She couldn't tell the power level of the people who just got off, but they were clearly more powerful than them. Regardless of whether they were enemies or friends, Luo Fei didn't want to remind them. Such dense spirit qi. A yellow cultivator-robed middle-aged man took a deep breath and said, "Such powerful female cultivators." A triangle-eyed cultivator saw Luoying and Ning Qingxue and suddenly said. A skinny-faced cultivator quickly stopped this cultivator and saluted with his fists to Yemo. "Did you guys get sucked down as well?" He was speaking to Yemo and them, but his eyes looked at Lin Yiban, clearly thinking that Lin Yiban was in charge. "Yes, we were also sucked down." Lin Yiban nodded. Suddenly, that triangle-eyed cultivator said again, "Are those few female cultivators with you?" Yemo's face sunk immediately. He was thinking about whether he should warn them about the sand, but the eyes he looked at Luoying with made him extremely uncomfortable, so he didn't say anything. And now, he still asked about the female cultivators. This guy was not a good person. Lin Yiban's face sunk. He looked at Yemo. If it wasn't because they had four-body condensation state, he might have attacked already. Yemo shook his head. There was no need to attack. If they fought, they would not be a match. The triangle-eyed cultivator still wanted to say something but was stopped by the yellow-robed cultivator. "Brother Hai, this place doesn't seem right. It's completely empty other than the sand on the ground." Clearly, the cultivator meant that now wasn't the time to talk about women. It was important to know what this place was. The women wouldn't fly off. The triangle-eyed cultivator nodded. Although those few female cultivators came with the two-body condensation states, if he wanted them, they would give them over. No one would fight with their life against higher-powered people for a female cultivator. Yemo's eyes went icy cold, but he didn't do anything. These four cultivators didn't know them at all. Clearly they had been here for a long time, perhaps more than a year. Otherwise, even a deaf would know something about him. Those few cultivators started walking further inside. "It's not right. We waited for 3 days for that crack to open. How come there are also more people here not long after we came down?" Lin Yiban asked. Yemo scanned with spirit sense but couldn't scan out, so he thought for a bit and said, "Perhaps that crack doesn't have a set time. What I'm afraid is that this crack might have stayed open after we came in. Those people probably came over due to the intense spirit qi." "Brother, you said that this place must have an extreme grade spirit range and even spirit marrow. Those people already walked ahead. Should we follow?" Tang Beiwei asked worriedly. Yemo shook his head. "We need to go up, but not with them. Let's change directions. There might be more and more people here. If someone send news out, there will certainly be more people coming." The outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds was terrifying, but people should be able to get in with extreme-grade flying cultivation artifacts. Which big sect didn't have one or two of those? Just when everyone thought Yemo was going to pave the way with Heaven Flame, Yemo called out to Shadowless. As soon as Shadowless came out, it shrieked in excitement and charged out. Those people immediately saw that the sand seemed to have seen something terrifying and retreated, but it was too slow. Yemo saw Shadowless fly into the air, and then those eggs formed a gray stream that went straight into Shadowless' mouth. Everyone was shook that a green pea-sized thing devoured this many eggs. Even Ning Qingxue was dazed and asked, "Husband, this thing is only that big. How can it eat so much?" Yemo said awkwardly, "I don't know as well. When it was first born, it ate something 100 times bigger than itself." "This is Shadowless Worm," Lin Yiban suddenly said. "You know about Shadowless Worm?" Yemo rejoiced. Lin Yiban nodded. "I've heard my father talk about it." He said something like, "Not a spirit bug, not immortal, not number 1 Shadowless Worm. This Shadowless Worm is one of the most precious things in the cultivation realm, yet City Lord got it. Congratulations!" Yemo waved his hand. "Brother Lin, hurry up and tell me what that means. I really want to know." Lin Yiban said without hesitation, "Shadowless Worm isn't a spirit bug and doesn't appear in the cultivation realm. I don't know how City Lord got it, but it definitely wouldn't appear in the cultivation realm. It looks just like a spirit bug, but all the spirit bugs and the rare spirit bugs rank fear Shadowless Worm." "Then isn't it the first?" "Why isn't it the first?" Huang Lanlan asked. Lin Yiban shook his head. Because a long time ago, someone got the shadowless worm and came to the cultivation realm. It grew famous really quickly and some Qianbei placed shadowless as the first on the ranking, but soon, someone found that even the most powerful spirit bug would become very worried seeing shadowless. Soon, they found that shadowless wasn't of the same caliber as the other bugs, so they didn't list it in it. Then why isn't it immortal? Huang Lanlan asked. Lin Yibin shook his head. That I don't know. Emo suddenly said, Brother Lin, your father must be a very powerful person, right? Lin Yibin's eyes showed some reminiscence and sadness before saying, Yes, my father is very great. It's because my ancestor is an extremely talented person. Even when people mention him now, they are full of respect. City Lord, I won't hide it from you. My ancestor is Chu Juyu. I'm a descendant of Chu Juyu. Everyone looked at him in shock, but he said angrily, My ancestor's 9-star village was taken over by a group of house servants. Ever since my great-grandpa, we've been working to take back our home. My father gave me the name Lin Yibin because Lin is half the character of Chu. The day I get back to 9-star village is when I restore the Chu name. Emo realized. No wonder he felt this Lin Yibin name was quite strange. He thought that since Lin Yibin was a descendant of Chu Jiu, would he know about fish jump through Dragon Gate? Emo just wanted to ask Lin Yibin when he heard a scream. Moments later, a cultivator came charging out from the inside. He was clearly a body condensation state who went in. But now he was covered in sand, specifically spirit-devouring bugs. He didn't go very far and quickly fell into the sand and was covered by it. Then, the pile of sand also disappeared. Emo's heart sunk. Those spirit bugs that devoured cultivator essence blood would have hatched. Otherwise, they wouldn't devour a body condensation state cultivator this quickly. At this moment, Shadowless suddenly stopped devouring the eggs and let out a sharp shriek before charging at those hatched spirit-devouring bugs. Some spirit-devouring bugs already started to mature and some even grew wings. After they saw Emo in them, they were going to swoop over, but when Shadowless let out the sharp shriek, they all quickly retreated. But Emo had a feeling that it seemed one spirit-devouring bug was faster and smarter. It didn't fly in the same direction as the others. It chose another direction and flew off. How was this newly hatched spirit-devouring bug so smart? Emo didn't think much of it, and seeing that Shadowless was going to chase after them, Emo forcefully called it back. Shadowless wanted to devour more eggs, but was stopped by Emo. Emo was scared this guy would fall into a slumber again. He didn't let Shadowless pave the way, as although the spirit-devouring bug's eggs would move to the sides, they were too slow. So, he just used his heaven flame to pave the way. Shadowless was on his shoulder, and after Emo burned out a path and Shadowless released its chi, no spirit-devouring bugs dared to come over. After they walked out for a long while and the spirit-devouring bugs couldn't sense Shadowless's chi, then they dared to close up and keep lurking. Without Shadowless, Emo would have no time to rest. But with Shadowless, Emo could sit down and rest when he was tired. 6 hours later, as Emo and them went deeper and deeper, the spirit-devouring bugs' eggs moved faster and faster. It was clear they were about to hatch, and there were some spirit-devouring bugs flying around. The further he went inside, the more flying spirit-devouring bugs there were. No wonder that body condensation state was eaten. There were ones that could fly here. But Shadowless was on Emo and they didn't dare to come near at all. After another half a day, Emo saw explosions and spirit chi waves ahead. Emo saw 3 cultivators sitting in a defense formation disc trying to attack all spirit-devouring bugs that entered. The spirit-devouring bugs were dense and clustered, forming layers and layers, trying to break the defense formation disc. Emo could only see 3 cultivators trying to clear the spirit-devouring bugs that were meters thick. But as soon as they destroyed a layer, more spirit-devouring bugs would go up. It seemed endless. More and more spirit-devouring bugs surrounded them as time went on. Emo suddenly thought of a strange question. Where did the essence spirit of the cultivator who just died go? The spirit-devouring bugs just hatched. They couldn't devour essence spirit. Body condensation state essence spirit was much stronger than hollow spirit state cultivator. Hollow spirit state and below, their essence spirit would mostly break after being killed except for those few with strong essence spirit. But body condensation state essence spirit had a certain level of self-protection capability. If the essence spirit got away and found a body, it could slowly become a spirit cultivator. It was very hard for spirit cultivators to live, but those who survived killed people invisibly. It was hard for cultivators to defend against that. Despite this, many cultivators hoped to encounter high-level spirit cultivators as they had high-level spirit cleansing beads. The three cultivators were the triangle-eyed cultivator, the yellow-robed one, and one that never spoke. That skinny cultivator had disappeared. They were really fast indeed. Yemo and them had to walk for a full day before seeing them. When Yemo saw them, they also saw Yemo and them. That triangle-eyed cultivator immediately screamed out in shock, "How come you guys are fine?" But he immediately saw Yemo's heaven flame and immediately had a greedy look that quickly disappeared. He called out, "Friends, help! Hurry up and annihilate those spirit-devouring bugs." Yemo was dazed. How was there someone as stupid as him? Who did he think he was? Of course Yemo wasn't going to help. He was even afraid that Shadowless would affect the spirit-devouring bugs, so he moved away. As soon as Yemo moved away, the three cultivators began to worry. Those spirit-devouring bugs that retreated a little due to Shadowless moved up again. "Wait, Heaven Flame friend. I'm from 9-Star Sect God Wind Valley. Help me burn these bugs and I, Wu Gai, will remember your favor," the yellow-robed cultivator said. Yemo didn't seem to hear it. So what if he was from the God Wind Valley? If he was from Heaven Demon Sect he might go help, but this time God Wind Valley just sent a cauldron-filling state cultivator to help him. Clearly they just wanted him to concoct pills. They had 5 truth realization state cultivators. So Yemo didn't have a bad impression of them but not much gratitude either. Plus, he really disliked the triangle-eyed cultivator. How could he save them? The triangle-eyed cultivator saw this and rushed out of the formation disc like crazy, wanting to stop Yemo and them. But after just a few meters, he was surrounded by countless spirit-devouring bugs. His body shield, cultivation essence, and magic artifact were like paper and instantly broken. Yemo then saw another strange spirit-devouring bug flying away in another direction and immediately understood. He signaled Shadowless to chase. Shadowless devoured that spirit-devouring bug and its body grew like a bubble. Yemo was shook. He wasn't afraid of Shadowless exploding but that it would sleep again. But luckily Shadowless didn't sleep. It instead wobbled around satisfyingly before landing on Yemo's shoulder again and again. The stomach also sagged down quickly. Even though Shadowless was Yemo's, he was amazed at its digestive abilities. Yemo knew that Shadowless didn't just devour a spirit-devouring bug, but also that triangle-eyed essence spirit. That triangle-eye clearly attached his essence spirit to a spirit-devouring bug and wanted to escape and turn into a spirit cultivator. That strange spirit-devouring bug that flew away before also had an essence spirit attached to it. Yemo even took out Thing and had a red. He found that cultivators beyond hollow spirit state who were devoured by spirit-devouring bugs could indeed attach their essence spirit to a spirit-devouring bug as long as their essence spirit wasn't damaged. But it also said that if his essence spirit wasn't powerful to a scary extent, he would lose his own will after attaching to spirit-devouring bugs. It would become a spirit-devouring bug that knew magic. It would be countless times more powerful than ordinary ones, but it wouldn't become a spirit cultivator. Yemo put Thing away and took a cold breath in. He thought the keeper of spirit-devouring bugs just wanted to own these spirit-devouring bugs. But he had such a grand plan. If these spirit-devouring bugs devoured thousands of cultivators, what a powerful force would that be? Yemo ignored the 2 remaining cultivators' plea for help and quickly took them to leave here. It didn't matter what the owner of these spirit-devouring bugs wanted. If he didn't have a certain level of power, he didn't need to worry. But suddenly Yemo stopped. He saw everyone look at him and he asked, "Have you realized something? We chose a different direction than them. How come we can see them here?" After Yemo brought this up, everyone realized it. They clearly chose another direction. How did they meet those cultivators? Did we go into a maze where we seem to be going around but we actually haven't moved from the spot? Tang Beiwei asked worriedly. It's a formation, and we definitely didn't stay where we are because the spirit chi is getting denser as we go, Yemo said. No one spoke, everyone agreed with Yemo. This was probably a formation, and the only person who knew formations was Yemo. Yemo fell silent for a long while before saying, "Let's not walk first. Let me think of a way." Then, Yemo set up a defense formation with formation flags. No one disturbed Yemo. They all sat down on the side cultivating or looking at the dense clusters of spirit-devouring bugs. A few hours later, another howl sounded. Everyone knew that those two relying on the defense formation probably reached their limit and got devoured. Lin Yibin subconsciously shivered. If he didn't come with Yemo and took Sutong down here himself, that would have been his fate as well. Yemo didn't care about the outside. He had calmed down and listened to the earth carefully. He was sure there was a maze formation, but his formation skills were limited and he couldn't see it. Yemo knew it was pointless to try scan his spirit sense out with a formation master like this. He could easily set up a few spirit sense maze formations to distract him. Since eyes and spirit sense didn't work, he used his ears. He didn't believe that the guy would even be able to distort sound. He didn't believe the guy would expect someone to sit down amongst the spirit-devouring bugs and take a few hours to listen. No cultivator would have the mood to sit down and listen amongst these spirit-devouring bugs. But Yemo could, as he had Shadowless and the 3 birth chant that could allow him to focus. Time went past slowly and Yemo had been sitting for half a day. No one was worried. Luoying, Qingxue and Tang Beiwei and them went wherever Yemo went. If Yemo died, they wouldn't want to live as well. The rest of the people knew that only Yemo could take them out of here. Yemo got up and started taking out formation flags. He heard a gurgling sound from one direction. It wasn't very rhythmic, but it sounded from the direction they just came from. All other directions were very silent except for the shifting sounds of spirit-devouring bugs. Yemo set up an anti-disruption formation in that direction, and indeed a faint area of visibility showed up. Before, they couldn't see very far, but after Yemo set up this formation, they could see further. Yemo smiled and knew his method was right. He turned around and said to everyone, "It'll work if we head along this path." After a few kilometers, Yemo sat down and listened once again, changing directions and setting up another formation before going. They walked and stopped like this for 5 days. This time, Yemo didn't set up a formation as the gurgling sound was right in front of them. But no matter how he looked forward, there were still just a bunch of fine sand-like spirit-devouring bugs. When he walked forward, the gurgling sound would weaken, but when he retreated it would grow loud again. Seeing everyone look at him, Yemo suddenly said, "If I'm not wrong, there should be a stealth formation here, but my formation skills are too low and I can't tell. Husband, how about you tell us the direction of the formation and we can attack together?" Ning Qingxue suggested. Yemo clapped. "Yeah, why didn't I think of this? No matter how powerful a stealth formation is, it's just a stealth formation. No matter how weak our attacks are, it should show it." Then, Yemo fired a fireball and said, "It's there, everyone attack." Yemo saw his fireball was stopped mid-air, meaning he was right. This was indeed a stealth formation and it had defense capabilities. Lin Yibin and them rejoiced and released their magic artifacts. With the 2 body condensation state cultivators Lin Yibin and Sutong joining in, their attacks went up a caliber. But Yemo stopped attacking as he saw the outlines of a formation. It was a type of stealth formation he had never seen. The means with which the formation was laid were unimaginable. Some formation flags were hidden mid-air being nourished by spirit chi. They didn't need any spirit stones at all. Yemo set up another defense formation around everyone and started sitting down and studying this formation. Rumblings sounded and more of the formation showed with everyone's attacks, but it didn't seem to break at all. As soon as everyone stopped attacking, the stealth formation would gradually recover. Facing such a powerful formation, even Lin Yibin and Sutong were shocked. They had never seen a formation like this, and this was mainly a stealth formation. Everyone saw Yemo study the formation and knew they had to keep attacking to show more of the formation so Yemo could study it. Yemo had completely immersed himself, but Yemo knew he was only a formation great master. He hadn't formed his own unique system yet. Another day passed and Yemo started to make formation flags. After he was done, he said to everyone, "No need to attack anymore. This formation isn't mainly a defense formation, but with our power, we won't be able to break it even if we attack for a month. Emo knew clearly that this formation was a top-grade formation. Even truth realization state cultivators needed to use some means to break it, much less body condensation state. After everyone stopped, Emo started throwing down formation flags. Moments later, he took them back and threw them in other places. He tested this hundreds of times before suddenly stopping. "What's wrong?" Tang Beiwei asked worriedly. "I understand." A completely new set of formation theory formed in Yemo's brain. Position wasn't the only mean to calculate formation, there was also space and maybe even time. But right now, he didn't even understand space, much less time. But that didn't matter, Yemo had a new outlook on formation. He didn't stop at all as he threw out more formation flags. After a moment, a passage was revealed before them. "It's open." Everyone rejoiced. They were still a little worried despite having Shadowless here. These spirit-devouring bugs killed even body condensation state cultivators, much less low-level cultivators like them. But no one went into the tunnel. They were all waiting for Yemo. Yemo closed his eyes and thought for a while before opening them. He knew he had reached level 7 formation Grandmaster. His formation means had now become a new system. As long as he worked hard, it wouldn't be hard to surpass Jiling Qianbei. Thinking about Jiling, Yemo's fury towards Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect increased crazily. He swore that once he reached truth realization state, he would wipe them off the face of the continent. Once he collected his mind, Yemo saw everyone looking at him and he immediately said, "There's no danger in there, you guys go in first. I'll go last." Yemo needed to go last as he need to collect the formation flags. This place wouldn't be a secret soon, and he didn't want to leave this passage for others. Even the spirit-devouring bugs might use this passage. As Yemo and them walked in the tunnel, Yemo took back the formation flags and the tunnel disappeared again. After 15 minutes, everyone stopped. No one cared that this place was countless times colder than where they came from. Even the breath they blew out froze into icicles. This was because they were shocked by the scene in front of them. A huge spirit pond appeared before them. There were all sorts of white jade or green jade seats and octagonal tables. Everything was extremely luxurious. Tens of maids held plates at all positions. Some plates even had white kettles and spirit fruit that had turned into stone. Just like outside, all the maids here were frozen into ice. They still kept their original look, but no one was alive. Even the spirit pond was dried up. Just like outside, Luo Fei said bitterly. Lin Yibin nodded. "It's like outside, but have you noticed? Although this place is cold, it isn't as cold as outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds." "Is this place the Ice God Forbidden Grounds?" Gan Liang asked. Yemo shook his head. "Definitely not. If it was this comfortable, it wouldn't be called Ice God Forbidden Grounds." Yemo had been to the Truthfall Palace Forbidden Grounds, and since Ice God Forbidden Grounds was ranked even higher than that, it would only be more dangerous than it, not just a little cold like now. "This place is like a small immortal gathering. Who are these people?" Tang Beiwei asked shakily. "There are spirit-devouring bugs here too," Su Tong suddenly said. Yemo saw it too. They had hatched. These spirit-devouring bugs probably came from outside to find a place to evolve. Yemo looked at the few hundred spirit-devouring bugs and said. Yemo let out Shadowless, and those spirit-devouring bugs immediately wanted to run when they saw it, but Shadowless was extremely fast. In a brief moment, all these spirit-devouring bugs were devoured by Shadowless. Yemo walked to where those spirit-devouring bugs came in from and set up a few formation flags. Then, a meter-tall tree appeared before them. There were 9 fruits on the tree, but the fruit didn't seem completely ripe yet. Level 9 Spirit Tree Sha Fruit. Lin Yibin called out in shock. Yemo knew Sha Fruit, of course. It was a level 9 spirit herb. It was one of the main ingredients for Disaster Life Pill. It could increase a cauldron filling state's chance of reaching disaster transformation state by 20%. "I heard that the Sha Fruit doesn't have any flavor." "It indeed doesn't," Su Tong also said in shock. Yemo said, "It's not that it doesn't have flavor, but just that we can't smell it. It has a strange smell that only spirit bugs can sense. No matter how far they are, spirit bugs would be able to find their way here." "Spirit-devouring bugs?" a few people questioned at the same time. "Yes," Yemo nodded. He didn't need to explain for them to understand. No one could find their way here with the stealth and defense formation set outside, but as long as a tiny gap was left, the spirit-devouring bugs would be able to find their way here by the smell. Indeed, they saw a few more spirit-devouring bugs fly in here, but they were all immediately devoured by Shadowless. EMO moved the tree into his golden page world without hesitation. Then, EMO knew it was impossible for the spirit-devouring bugs to find their way here anymore except for a few extreme lucky ones. But even so, EMO didn't intend to let them come in anymore. EMO kept throwing out formation flags and that tiny hole was quickly filled up. EMO breathed easy. Even if those remaining spirit-devouring bugs all hatched, if they couldn't find a place to evolve they would die. He had sabotaged the plan of another guy. He wondered if that guy would be furious if he knew, but EMO didn't care. He had offended too many people, he didn't care anymore. As long as his power was high to an extent that no one dared to say a thing, it was fine. Then EMO called out Snowfox. If he didn't have Snowfox, he would spare some spirit-devouring bugs to find the spirit grounds. Such a pretty fox. Husband, is this the fox you were looking for in the Nei Snow Mountains last time? Luo Ying asked. Everyone liked Snow Fox as soon as it came out. This little guy was too cute. It had shiny white fur and seemed a little chubby. Everyone wanted to pet it. No, I found it here. I don't know where the Nei one went. EMO shook his head. Snow Fox saw that Tang Beiwei wanted to catch it, and it turned into a white shadow darting past her. Even with Tang Beiwei's golden core state level 6 power, she wasn't able to catch it. Amazing speed! Tang Beiwei exclaimed. Su Tong smiled. This spirit-seeking beast is already a level 5 peak stage spirit beast. It's about to reach level 6. It's no wonder you can't catch it. What? This little fox is about to be a level 6 spirit beast. Tang Beiwei called out in shock. When the snow fox first came into his possession, it was still level 5 primary stage, but due to the abundant spirit chi in his golden page world, it soon progressed. The snow fox ran to the left corner and desperately clawed with its claws. EMO immediately went over and threw out a few formation flags. Another stealth formation was revealed before them. EMO, with experience, easily opened up a pathway showing a semicircular door. After going in, there was a feeling of extreme comfort. My God! So much spirit marrow! Even Su Tong couldn't help exclaiming. Even Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue couldn't resist running out. There was just too much spirit marrow. With this dense spirit chi, it meant that the spirit marrow wasn't low level, it was at least top grade if not extreme grade. EMO put up formation flags to seal this place before looking at it. It was a huge palace. Other than Spirit Marrow Pond, there was nothing else. Each Spirit Marrow Pond was full. Clearly no one had cultivated here for a long time. There were also spirit crystals scattered around every spirit pond. Some were even high-level spirit crystals. No one went in to cultivate. Everyone waited for EMO. EMO counted. There were 16 spirit marrow ponds. There were only 10 people here. This spirit marrow of this place was of much high caliber than the one in the Herb Valley. Thinking about this, EMO said, "One each. Collect the spirit crystals by your pond." Hearing this, Lin Yibin and Su Tong took a spirit marrow pond. Then Gan Liang, Luo Fei and them. EMO told Tang Beiwei to choose one, and then he said to Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue, "You guys are golden core state peak stage. I have Chao Huan pill here. You can break through to nascent soul state now and then cultivate in the spirit marrow pond. As for your cultivation method, use mine." With EMO's protection, the two reached nascent soul state without danger. After the divine damnation, EMO, Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying also went to cultivate. He set up a level 7 defense and attack formation first. Even in here, EMO was very careful. Who knew if someone would suddenly appear? EMO saw everyone cultivating diligently, spirit chi whirlpools forming above their heads. He knew everyone's power would increase a lot after this, but he wasn't in a rush to cultivate. He took out that time formation disc instead. He didn't plan to let everyone come in and cultivate. Even if it was just for himself, it would use up too much spirit chi. EMO used 3 of the remaining spirit ponds. One was for cultivation and the other 2 provided spirit chi for his 7 spirit attraction formation. This was to supply the time formation disk with spirit chi. With his special grade hollow spirit pill, Emo believed he would be able to reach hollow spirit state tertiary stage after he used up one spirit marrow pond. Other people only formed one spirit chi whirlpool, but Emo formed 8. The spirit chi whirlpool formed like a mist. Emo was inside the time formation disk, and as the time formation disk spun, people outside couldn't see anything at all. 2 months passed. Lin Yibin woke up from cultivation first. He found, to his surprise and joy, that he was body condensation state level 8. He looked at the spirit marrow pond. He had only used about 1/5. Less than 1/5 brought him to body condensation state level 8. Clearly, the spirit marrow was top-grade spirit marrow. He subconsciously looked at everyone else. Gan Liang made the most progress. He was nascent soul state level 7. His wife Su Tong was body condensation state level 6. Emo's 2 wives were nascent soul state level 3. His sister golden core state level 8. Luo Fei and Xianxia were golden core state level 1. Clearly, they already formed their core during this time. It was only Emo he couldn't see clearly. He just knew that there was a formation spinning around him, and it made him dizzy just by looking at it. He quickly moved his gaze away, thinking in shock. What formation is this? When he saw that Emo set up formations on the other 2 spirit marrow ponds, he was shocked. Each of those ponds had lost 1/3 of the spirit marrow, including the spirit pond Emo used. Lin Yibin didn't dare to keep thinking. Why was his new city lord this terrifying at cultivation? He needed 3 spirit marrow ponds and used up so much. Were the other 2 ponds to provide spirit marrow for his formation? What formation needed such amount of spirit chi? Emo didn't know how long it had been outside, but he knew he had cultivated for 2 years. His power was hollow spirit state level 7 peak stage and was about to break through to level 8, but he had no intentions of stopping. As long as his spirit marrow pond wasn't empty, he wasn't going to stop. 2 more months passed outside. Emo suddenly got up and stopped cultivating. He had been cultivating for 4 whole years in the time formation disk. He was now hollow spirit state peak stage power. Emo knew he couldn't keep cultivating now. He needed to spend some time to familiarize himself with hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivation essence and then find a place for his divine damnation. When Emo put away the formation and got out, he saw that Tang Beiwei had stopped already. Everyone else was very fast, but Emo found that other than his spirit marrow pond almost drying up, everyone else's spirit marrow ponds seemed full. Only Lin Yibin lost about 40%. Lin Yibin was body condensation state level 8 peak. Brother, you're done too? Tang Beiwei saw Emo come out and called out in joy. She was bored. Emo could tell she wasn't able to cultivate. She was golden core state peak stage. About to form nascent soul. Emo found it was right to come in here. Luoying was nascent soul state level 4. Ning Qingxue was nascent soul state level 3. Everyone else also progressed. How long have you been cultivating? Emo thought of the time formation disk and asked. Tang Beiwei said in confusion. For months. Brother, you don't know how long you've been cultivating? By the way, what formation are you using to cultivate? I don't even dare to look at it. I feel dizzy just staring at it. So his time formation disk had reached 12 times acceleration using the spirit marrow pond. This was too shocking. Emo didn't explain this to Tang Beiwei. It wasn't easy to explain. He brought Tang Beiwei to the side of the palace and set up a few more formations to let her form her nascent soul state. Everyone was in cultivation now, and Emo didn't want her divine damnation to affect everyone. Tang Beiwei's talent was better than Ning Qingxue, but she reached nascent soul state first only because of Emo. Brother, what power are you? Tang Beiwei asked after her divine damnation. Emo took out tens of bottles of pills and gave them to Tang Beiwei. I'm hollow spirit state peak stage. I need to find a place for divine damnation. These pills are labeled. Just give them to everyone. I won't go very far. Huh? Tang Beiwei took the pills and asked, Brother, there's a palace here. Where can you go for divine damnation? Can't you do it here? Emo said adamantly, No, don't worry about me. I have a place to go. If anything happens, contact me through this communication bead. Yemo found this place due to the gurgling sound, but he didn't hear it here. So Yemo believed this wasn't the place he was looking for. His hollow spirit state, divine damnation, caused the swamp to collapse. What if he collapsed this area with his body condensation state, divine damnation? He had the golden page world, but other people didn't. Tang Beiwei didn't want her brother to leave, but she didn't say anything. She could empathize with her brother. He didn't say anything, but no one could feel how bad he felt. She knew from Xianxia how much he respected Ji Ling. So she could understand him desperately trying to improve his power. After Tang Beiwei started cultivation again, Yemo looked at the remaining 4 spirit marrow ponds. They probably wouldn't be using them, so he moved them into his golden page world and collected the spirit crystals. Yemo's power was many times stronger than before, and he soon heard the gurgling sound again. It had no rhythm but was in the palace. It sounded clearer in here than outside. Another stealth formation, Yemo murmured speechlessly. This formation master seemed to love this, all sorts of formations and stealth. Yemo threw out formation flags and soon saw a small door. After going inside, Yemo collected the formation flags before looking at the scene. There was a 9-zigzag walkway in front of him, was a yard outside the walkway. The spirit herbs in the yard had died, but the spirit chi was extremely dense. At the end of the walkway was a half-closed wooden door. Yemo felt this door and was shocked. It had been countless years, and this wooden door was still fine. Clearly, the wood was of extremely high quality. Yemo really wanted to take this door and see if it could be used for forgery. But he thought about it and didn't. There were many good things here. If he was even going to take the door, then it was a bit too much. The room he walked into was spacious. It was very old, but nothing inside was broken. Clearly, all the things in here were very valuable, whether it was the decorations or furniture. But Yemo wasn't interested in these things. These were useless to him, and he didn't like putting other people's things in his place. The place he lived with his wives should only have things he personally made. Yemo followed the sound and opened another door. A pink world appeared before his eyes. There was another spirit marrow pond here, and on the stone wall above the spirit marrow pond, there was a fountain. What came out was dense to the extreme spirit marrow. It made some gurgling sounds as it fell inside the spirit marrow pond. It was higher level than the spirit marrow pond outside. This was clearly a place for women to shower. There was an extremely pretty spirit glass, and there were a few lingerie hung by the side of the mirror. It was clearly made with very expensive material, but Yemo didn't have that fetish of taking women's underwear. He could even imagine an extremely pretty woman washing in here. He wondered what powerful being lived here. He wanted to know if the spirit-eating bugs were kept by the owner of this place. Then who froze those maids? Yemo sighed. He didn't know what happened here, but from the looks of it, there was a woman taking a bath here when the incident occurred. Either the woman ran out before having the time to wear her clothes, or she was dragged out. No matter what, letting a woman run out without clothes was tragic. Yemo didn't touch this place, not even the extremely dense spirit marrow pond. The pity was he couldn't scan his spirit sense into the rooms, so he had to check one by one. One could see how powerful the being who lived here was. Those weren't even formations but simple spirit sense limiting restrictions. He left this room and went into the room next door. He opened the door and the scene shocked him even more. A middle-aged man wearing extremely luxurious clothes sat alone on the seat. There was an exquisite tea table before him with some pretty tea tools. What shocked him the most was that one of the man's hands pierced his head from the top. The coagulated blood still stood on the man's face. From his eyes, he could see despair and sadness. Clearly, this man was the owner of this place. Yemo didn't expect the owner of this place to have killed himself. He knew there was a great enemy who came here. The owner either fought the enemy and was killed or ran. But instead, he killed himself in despair. What made him so sad? Yemo shook his head. He didn't want to think. It was a tragic story. Something that might be unacceptable. Otherwise, how could so many maids die and even the owner have committed suicide? There was no ring on this man's finger. It was probably taken away. He didn't come here to guess the sad story. He came here to find cultivation resources. Since there were none, there was no point for him to stay here. Just when he wanted to exit the room and prepare for his divine damnation in the yard, he found that there were spirit power waves in one corner of the room. There's another formation? Emo walked over quickly and threw out a few formation flags. Indeed, a formation appeared before him. It was an extremely small hidden teleportation formation. It was probably way too old, and that's why it leaked some spirit power waves. Emo looked around and eventually got on this teleportation formation. He put 2 spirit stones on the ring and the teleportation formation activated in a white light. Emo disappeared from this room. A bone-chilling feeling came. Emo found he was completely in an icy snow world. He just walked out of the teleportation formation and could hear his bones cracking. Emo quickly used Cultivation essence to cover himself. Such a cold place. If a nascent soul state cultivator came here, perhaps he would have frozen to death immediately. This place was countless times colder than the outskirts of Ice God Forbidden Grounds. In a brief moment, Emo felt the cold more irresistible, so he released the octagonal cauldron. The octagonal cauldron started spinning above his head, covering him. Only then did Emo feel better. Was this the real Ice God Forbidden Grounds? He was Hollow Spirit State peak stage and had the octagonal cauldron but was still having such a hard time. If it was some ordinary Hollow Spirit State or even body condensation state, they probably wouldn't be able to take it. Emo scanned with spirit sense and noticed something different. There were ice shards, mountains, and snow everywhere, but there was also a green tree. Emo quickly walked over. He noticed that the closer he got, the less cold he felt. Eventually, he put away the octagonal cauldron. When he walked to the green tree, a woman that defined extreme beauty stared at him. He subconsciously took a step back and saluted with his fists awkwardly. "I'm Emo. I came here by accident. Sorry for disturbing Chen Bei." Emo felt it was really weird. When he scanned his spirit sense here, he only saw the tree but not this woman. He had never seen a woman this beautiful. Her beauty was too vibrant to gaze at. There were no words that could describe her beauty. Emo soon noticed that this woman was still staring at him. Her eyes didn't move at all. Emo realized this woman had been dead for countless years. Without this tree, perhaps she would be a frozen statue like the maids. Emo felt a little sad actually. He quickly gave himself a few mind-clearing spells and left. This green tree was definitely an extraordinary spirit item to be able to remain evergreen in this place. But he didn't know what it was. Emo actually didn't think about taking the tree away nor facing his divine damnation. He was subconsciously thinking that if he took away this tree, this extremely pretty woman would immediately turn into ice shards. He really couldn't bear allowing such beauty to turn into ice shards. This wasn't love, just a simple admiration of beauty. He believed that no matter how good this tree was, it couldn't compare with his bitter bamboo. Bitter bamboo was one of the 10 great spirit items. Emo subconsciously wanted to leave and find another place for divine damnation. But after walking out a few meters, he heard a voice full of despair say, "Take me away. Take me away." Emo was shook. He scanned his spirit sense with full power, but there was nothing. His spirit sense noticed this beautiful woman again. She had clearly been dead for a long time. There were 2 strands of tears on her pale face. Did he hear wrong? He took a few steps back, and that call sounded by his ear again. Now, Emo was sure that it was this dead woman who called him. To be able to do this woman must have used a secret technique to keep a message before she died. This was the automatic call when an outsider had been detected. It was hard for Emo. It wasn't that he wasn't willing to take her away, but he didn't know where to bring her to. He couldn't keep her in the Golden Page world. He already had enough women in there. Emo subconsciously shivered. He really didn't want to take her into his Golden Page world. Suddenly, he saw there was a small jade slip on her head. Emo took it and looked at it. "Blue bead is my world. Please give blue bead to the Ice God Palace. Qingru will forever be grateful." Emo didn't understand. What was the blue bead? He had never seen it. And where was Ice God Palace? Just when Emo was still confused, the green tree started wobbling. Emo rubbed his eyes. He thought he saw wrong, but the tree was indeed moving. Instantly, the tree turned into a blue bead and that woman disappeared into the bead. Emo looked dazedly at the blue bead for a long time. realizing now that this blue bead was like his golden page world. A small world. Emo scanned this bead, but his spirit sense couldn't go in at all. Helplessly, Emo could only pick it up and throw it into his golden page world. He didn't know why this Qingru trusted him so much. How could ordinary people expose their small world in front of someone? A small world was very rare, anyone would want it. Perhaps only I wouldn't care. Emo shook his head. He liked his golden page world. He felt it was the best small world. He even felt that the golden page world was far more than just a small world. This woman probably had no choice. Emo believed that if she had a choice, she would never let someone take her small world. Looking at the jade slip, Emo thought he would only think about it after he learned about the Ice God Palace. There was no way he was going to look for it, he had too many things to do. He would have this divine damnation here. Emo looked around and found that the spirit chi was denser than other places. Perhaps due to blue bead, it wasn't as cold as everywhere else. When he reached hollow spirit state, his lightning storage formation had exploded. Now that he had experience, he set up 7 lightning storage formations and 1 lightning direction formation. He didn't believe 7 of these couldn't hold the lightning power of the divine damnation. When Emo set up the spirit gathering formation with spirit crystals, this place was immediately enveloped with dense spirit chi mist. Emo was very clear that this wasn't something the spirit gathering formation could create. The only explanation was that there was a spirit range here. Thinking about this, Emo rejoiced. He was lacking spirit ranges. This place had so many spirit maropons and spirit chi due to the spirit range. No wonder. But he needed to face his divine damnation now. Once he finished, he would dig the spirit range away. He didn't touch the female bathing pond, but he wasn't going to be polite with the spirit range. After eating a break spirit pill, Emo released his octagonal cauldron to spin above his head while using 3 birth chant. Half a day later, Emo's cultivation essence gathered quickly, trying to find a breaking point. His cultivation essence had reached a yardstick. Suddenly, it grew dark above his head. Instantly, tens of lightning arcs the size of grown men's arms rained down. Emo didn't mind, he hacked out with Zisu. Crack crack. This round of 36 lightning arcs didn't even touch Emo's shadow and were blocked by Emo's octagonal cauldron. Zisu was useless. Emo suddenly felt unhappy. His power had increased too rapidly, and although that divine damnation was powerful, it didn't bring him any benefits. Thinking about this, he put his octagonal cauldron away. It wouldn't feel good at all if the octagonal cauldron blocked all the divine damnation. Just when Emo put the octagonal cauldron away, it began to rumble. 36 more arcs rained down that were even thicker than the ones before. Zisu hacked out quickly and countless purple sword rays clashed with the lightning arcs, creating lightning sparks. It was very vibrant and pretty. The remaining 20 or so arcs all hit Emo. In a brief moment, Emo's clothes and armor were all destroyed. But Emo wasn't shocked at all. Hollow spirit state peak stage and nascent soul state peak stage. The difference was tens of times greater, and yet the divine damnation was only a few times stronger than last time. Emo's power increased faster. Crack! Lightning arcs hit Emo's body and made cracking sounds on his bones. His flesh flew off and a burning smell came. However, Emo was more excited. He finally felt the benefits of taking the divine damnation head-on. He refined lightning faster and his power also increased faster. Although his skin and flesh cracked and even his bones, his body also recovered astonishingly fast as his power increased. When the second wave ended, Emo felt his meridians crack and an extremely powerful energy come. His cultivation essence almost solidified. His essence spirit was more condensed. Emo knew he had broken through to body condensation state. This was the first time he didn't finish his divine damnation and already broke through. Feeling the drastic rise in his power, Emo grew excited. He didn't feel the cold at all and even put away Zisu, ready for the next wave. He wanted to know what his limit was. He reached body condensation state after 2 waves. He wanted to know to what extent would his power grow to if he devoured the entire divine damnation. If someone saw Emo here, they would think Emo was a madman. He was naked in this icy world, waiting to be blasted with lightning. Rumble, 18 more arcs rained down, although there were less, they were all twice as thick. Emo didn't fear it at all, and before the lightning landed on him, he used 11 lightning swords. He was going to fight the lightning arcs. Crack, the black lightning arcs Emo used clashed with the divine damnation lightning. Lightning splashed everywhere and the surroundings were tattered by the clash of two different types of lightning arcs. Emo's black lightning sword and the blue lightning arcs crackled and sprayed like fireworks. But if anything got splashed by the sparks, it would be destroyed without a doubt. Emo found that the lightning sword he used was far from the power of the lightning arcs that rained down. But 3 to 4 of his swords could cripple a lightning arc. Emo grew more excited and devoured lightning even faster. 11 lightning swords also grew faster. Emo felt his power kept rising. Before the divine damnation even finished, he was body condensation state level 1 peak. The divine damnation seemed to be irate by Emo and didn't stop at all. Lightning arcs rained down densely. Emo used 3 birth chant to the extreme while he kept attacking with 11 lightning swords. As for the ones that weren't blocked, he didn't mind letting them rain down on his body. Eventually, the lightning arcs were as thick as legs. His 11 lightning swords also went up a level. 2 swords could block 1 lightning arc. Luckily no one was here. If some cultivator saw Emo, he would think this must be an illusion. This wasn't someone trying to survive divine damnation but a madman trying to challenge divine damnation. The higher cultivation level you reached, the more you must keep a state of mind. But cultivators had this fearful mentality towards divine damnation. Cultivators usually tried to reduce slaughter at higher cultivation levels just so the divine damnation wouldn't hit them as hard and reduce the heart demon pressure. There was no one who fought against divine damnation like Emo. Divine damnation had a spirit, and that was right. Emo's actions had angered the divine damnation. Usually, a body condensation state divine damnation would have already finished. But Emo's wasn't done, and instead the lightning arcs were getting thicker and denser. Emo didn't mind it at all. He loved this feeling. His power was increasing and the divine damnation wasn't completely ineffective on him. He devoured lightning power faster, and as he did, his 11 lightning swords grew more powerful as well. Eventually, Emo could cripple 1 lightning arc with 1 sword. If lightning cloud sect cultivators saw this, they would know it wasn't even 11 lightning swords anymore, as there had never been such a powerful 11 lightning swords. Crack! Emo used another lightning sword to cripple the lightning arcs. His heart expanded. He looked at the lightning sword and said, "From now on, you will be just called Lightning Sword." Emo now knew he had an attack means on par with the Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike, and that was Lightning Sword. Emo felt the bottleneck stopping his power being smashed open again. He was body condensation state level 2. A heart demon appeared and Emo lost interest. It was like nothing to him. He waved a few lightning swords and the heart demon disappeared. The bitter bamboo was indeed a good thing. He had been cultivating next to bitter bamboo for so long that there wasn't even heart demon tribulation anymore. He tried it this time, so he didn't use bitter bamboo leaf, and it was no threat at all. Emo looked up into the sky, wanting another wave of divine damnation to come, but white rainbow spirit chi cloud fell above his head instead. Emo devoured the spirit chi cloud to consolidate his power, but he was disappointed. He looked at the 7 lightning storage formation he had set up and didn't expect to not even use one. Emo had begun to understand a logic. Some things, the more scared you were, the more they would happen. The divine damnation was also something that abused the weak and feared the strong. When you were strong, it retreated. Body condensation state level 2 and lightning sword mastered. Emo rejoiced. This was a very fulfilling trip. That powerful feeling gave him the confidence to kill any body condensation state cultivator. Emo put away the useless formations and found that the spirit chi here was denser. He sunk into the earth, and at around a few hundred meters deep, he found a dragon-like spirit range in front of him. Extreme grade spirit range. Even though he hadn't seen one before, he immediately knew that this was an extreme grade spirit range. This was a spirit range even bigger than the Herb King spirit range. But Emo's power was far greater than that of nascent soul state now. Body condensation state level 2 power, it wasn't that hard for Emo to move an extreme grade spirit range into his golden page world. Just a few simple transmission formations, and after a rumble, the spirit range was moved away. But instantly, this place started to collapse and some ice mountains and ice shards lost their life force. EMO dashed out of the earth and cleaned himself with a few water spells before getting a new set of clothes. He felt refreshed. EMO scanned his spirit sense around. There was no more life force except for cold. An extreme-grade spirit range, EMO was sure that even the entire South P state might not have one. The Pill City was a 10-star sect, but it might be difficult for even them to take out an extreme-grade spirit range. EMO's spirit sense reached into his golden page world and found it was full of life force. Once the world laws formed, this would be his world. He could leave now. EMO went back to the teleportation formation without hesitation. Just as EMO guessed, the crack never closed after they were sucked in. There were now hundreds of cultivators here. But after they went in, they suffered the same fate as those body condensation state cultivators from Godwin Valley. They were surrounded by countless spirit-devouring bugs. Only a little more than 10 high-powered cultivators were struggling to survive. If we continue like this, we will die for sure. These spirit-devouring bugs are hatching more and more after devouring large amounts of cultivator essence blood. One body condensation state tertiary stage man said. He had been struggling for a few days. If there's a better way, who would want to fight with these bugs? Someone must have certainly set this up and baited us to feed the bugs. Another body condensation state cultivator said. Humph, what's the use of saying that now? I'm sure that if you went out now and didn't know what was going on inside, you would still come. The body condensation state tertiary stage scorned. The other cultivator didn't rebut his statement. He knew this man was saying the truth. Those clear dream mosque nuns are quite capable. They've survived till now, one cultivator said in admiration. The fat cultivator on the side said in contempt. They just have a good defense formation. Without that defense formation disc, they would have been completely devoured. Fuck it. I can't take it anymore. Before I die, I'm going to taste the women of Clear Dream Mosque. A body condensation state level 1 cultivator next to the fat cultivator suddenly called out and charged out of the defense circle towards those 3 female cultivators from Clear Dream Mosque. The rest of the people dazed. Was this guy crazy? There were this many spirit-devouring bugs here. He would be devoured immediately. Yet he could think of going after women? But some smart people immediately realized that this cultivator was going over more because he saw the power of the defense formation disc. Even till now, they were perfectly fine. He must have gone over to take their defense formation disc. Some cultivators who realized this all wanted to do the same, but they quickly gave up that idea. That cultivator just ran out 10 meters before he was surrounded by countless spirit-devouring bugs. Soon, the bugs fell to the ground and there was nothing left. Suddenly, the fat cultivator shrieked. Did everyone notice? The spirit-devouring bugs' attacks are getting weaker. Everyone felt it too. They were indeed getting weaker and weaker. A few high-level cultivators used a few powerful spells and cleared the spirit-devouring bugs nearby away. More didn't flood over like before. Only a few flew over. But eerily, those flying spirit-devouring bugs fell down before they quickly withered and died. As time passed, all the spirit-devouring bugs fell down. What's going on? The cultivators looked amongst themselves. Those eggs seem to have stopped moving as well, a cultivator said. One body condensation state cultivator used a fireball. Originally it could only kill a few hundred, but now it cleared a large area. Thousands of bugs were burned. Seeing this, everyone did the same and the dense clutter of spirit-devouring bugs was cleared. Spirit chi seemed to be getting thinner as well. A lot thinner. The spirit chi here is no different than outside now, someone said. A cultivator flew out on his flying sword and before he fell down, everyone realized that the suction force had disappeared. The suction force isn't here anymore. We can go out, the flying cultivator said. But no one flew out. If this place was still filled with spirit-devouring bugs, they would run out as quickly as possible. But now that there was no danger, there must be something good down here since there was the dense spirit chi before. I understand, the body condensation state tertiary stage said. What's going on, brother gang? Someone asked. He pointed on the ground and said, these hatched spirit-devouring bugs need large amounts of spirit chi to evolve. Only then would they mature. Now that the spirit chi is suddenly gone, they've lost their basis for survival. Their death is thus unavoidable. Only after they mature would they be able to survive in places with low spirit chi. Brother Gang, didn't you say these spirit bugs are being kept by someone? Would that person not know the spirit chi would suddenly disappear here? Someone asked. Brother Gang shook his head. I don't know as well. I know. A coarse voice suddenly sounded. Brother Gang saluted with his fists. So it's Heaven Yen Sex I Jing Grandmaster. Please explain to us Brother I Jing was body condensation state level 1, but he was a level 7 formation Grandmaster. He had decent status in the cultivation realm. He pointed above. When we came here there was suction, but there isn't any now. There's clearly a formation here and the formation just sent us inside. The formation lost the spirit power to run, so the suction force disappeared too. He looked around. Usually, the person who set up the formation wouldn't miscalculate the spirit power. Thus, the only possibility is that someone came here first and took the spirit power source. What? We came here arduously and fought with the spirit-devouring bugs for so long and so many people died. But that guy just simply took it away. That fat man called out unhappily. He was body condensation state peak stage, so no one dared to talk. Clear Dream Mosque Qinghan sneered. If that's the case you should thank him, or you would have become the spirit-devouring bugs food. What did you say? That fat cultivator suddenly asked coldly. I said you're a wolf who forgets the people who show you gratitude. So what? Qinghan retorted. This fat cultivator didn't argue and turned his green face away. Clearly, he was scared of Clear Dream Mosque. That fat cultivator was from the 7-star sect Eternity Sea. They were at the top of 7-star sects and were almost on par with ordinary 8-star sects, but they were nothing compared to Clear Dream Mosque. Just one truth realization state cultivator was enough to annihilate Eternity Sea. Formation. One body condensation state peak stage cultivator stared not far into the distance and called out. Everyone looked towards there, and to their surprise, a stealth formation gradually showed. When the formation was completely revealed, almost everyone went up to it. This is a stealth formation, how come it doesn't have any stealth effects? A hollow spirit state tertiary stage cultivator asked. Someone immediately said, Grandmaster E already said that the spirit source was taken away. Without the spirit source, these formations would show, of course. Perhaps the person who set up the formations didn't expect that his high-level stealth formation was no different than an ordinary formation after the spirit source was taken away. Such an advanced formation. I Jing looked at the formation and gasped. He had never seen such a formation. It was indeed very advanced. Grandmaster E, how do we go in here? The body condensation state peak stage asked. I Jing greets God Wind Valley's martial brother Hu Jiming. This formation means is very advanced. I need to look again. This formation is mainly for stealth, but it's also defensive and has reached level 8. We can't forcefully open it. I Jing said. He didn't dare to offend God Wind Valley. Hu Jiming nodded and stood on the side. Only Hu Jiming and that fat man were body condensation state peak stage. The rest were weaker. Everyone else moved to the side after seeing Hu Jiming do so. I Jing started to study this formation. A day later, I Jing didn't make any progress. Hu Jiming was getting impatient and asked, How about we attack this formation together? Hu Jiming's words immediately got everyone's approval. Hu Jiming was the first to release his magic artifact. But as soon as his magic artifact touched that formation, the formation broke open. Everyone was dazed. I Jing was a formation grandmaster, and since he said that the formation couldn't be forced open, it really should be so. However, Hu Jiming just attacked casually and the formation broke. This meant that this formation was at most a level 4 defense formation. Ha! Hu Jiming laughed and went inside. The rest of the people followed. I Jing's face turned red. He realized that since the stealth formation lost spirit source, so did the defense formation. Luckily, no one scorned at him, and he felt better. He followed behind everyone, not daring to make any claims. Soon, they saw the scene Emo had seen before, and a few female cultivators screamed in shock. This is just like the outskirts, one cultivator said. People were guessing, but more were looking around for treasure. The entrance is here. Soon, someone found the stealth formation. Emo went in. It had been completely revealed now. Everyone went in the stealth formation and a crescent moon door appeared before them. Another defense formation, another level 7 defense formation, Yijing said. But this defense formation had a spirit source. Everyone ignored him after the joke before. His status had declined greatly. An Eternity C nascent soul state cultivator released a flying sword at the formation. With a thud, the flying sword and the formation clashed. But what everyone didn't expect was that a dark ray shot out of the formation and quickly pierced that nascent soul state cultivator's dantian. The nascent soul state cultivator immediately spat blood, and an extremely small nascent soul popped out from his head. Clearly that nascent soul state cultivator wasn't able to live, but it was very rare that a nascent soul could escape out. That fat Eternity C cultivator grunted and threw a fireball over. The worried nascent soul immediately disappeared. Everyone was shook. This fatty was too cruel. He even killed his own sex nascent soul state Wanbei. Everyone knew that the fat man was annoyed at this Wanbei attacking without his consent. But this punishment was too cruel. But no one would care about the death of a nascent soul state cultivator. This defense formation can attack as well, and it's still effective, Hu Jiming said and looked at Yi Jing before saluted with his fists. Grandmaster Yi, would you be able to break this formation for us as quickly as possible? Yi Jing was uncomfortable, but he didn't dare to be arrogant. He nodded. This formation was much simpler than the ones outside, and although he had never seen this type, he should be able to break it. Lin Yibin, who had just reached body condensation state level 9, immediately noticed that formation being attacked and scanned with his spirit sense. People couldn't scan their spirit sense inside, but he could scan his spirit sense out. When he saw more than 10 cultivators outside, he was shook. There were 2 body condensation state peak stage and 2 body condensation state level 9s. Meanwhile, he was the only body condensation state level 9 and his wife was only body condensation state level 7. The rest were nascent soul state or golden core state. With a rumble, the formation was attacked again. This time, even Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying and them heard. Everyone stopped cultivation and stood up, watching the defense formation. Brother said he went to divine damnation. I'll send a message to him, he should be back soon, Tang Beiwei quickly said. Su Tong was shaken. Wasn't City Lord only hollow spirit state level 1? Even if he broke through here, he can't be having divine damnation this quickly? Su Tong couldn't be blamed. No matter how talented you were, you wouldn't be able to reach hollow spirit state peak stage in 4 months. Even the best genius would take at least 4 years. Even Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue were shook. Rumble, before they could react, the defense formation was broken. There are people inside. The cultivators immediately saw Lin Yibin and them. Wait. There are so many spirit marrow ponds here. Such dense spirit chi. People immediately noticed. 7 are dry, and 2 are about half full. The people immediately said. Lin Yibin said heavily. We found them first. So what? You've been cultivating here for so long. You can move aside and let everyone share the goods, Hu Jiming said. Lin Yibin clenched his fists but couldn't do anything. He was no match for them. That's Ning Qingxue, ethereal Immortal Pon's core disciple, Yemo's wife. If Ning Qingxue is here, Yemo must be here too. One hollow spirit state cultivator recognized Ning Qingxue and remembered the Bounty Infinity sect and Lightning Cloud sect put out. Haha, so you're Ning Qingxue? Then it must be Luo Susu and Tang Beiwei next to you? Great, the Infinity sect is hunting Yemo. I, Pu Cheng, will take your spirit marrow pond, that fat cultivator said. How dare you? Luo Ying and Tang Beiwei immediately stood by Ning Qingxue's side. Before I didn't dare to, but you're no longer Black Ice Sect members. Black Ice Sect has kicked you out. Pu Cheng smiled. Suddenly a cold voice said, Pu, with which ear did you hear that Infinity Sect was hunting Yemo? How come I didn't hear it? Do you dare to be responsible for your words? Pu Cheng heard this and was shook. Just when he wanted to rage, he saw it was the nuns of Clear Dream Mosque. His face grew bad. If there weren't so many people here, he would have annihilated them already. Their strongest was only hollow spirit state tertiary stage. How dare she mock him again and again? Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect indeed made a notice, but could he say that? This was a secret message to the sects they were close to. Report to them news of YMO as soon as they got it, and they would be heavily rewarded. The Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect were set on killing YMO. They'd been secretly hunting him, and yet Pill City made no moves. Black Ice Sect's disaster transformation state elder was killed, but they could only suck it up, clearly fearing the joined forces of Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect. He was too excited when he realized YMO was here and accidentally said it. He glared at the cultivator who recognized Xianxia. This guy just said YMO was here. He must have thought of reporting YMO's location to get benefits. But this guy was calmer than him and didn't say YMO was on a wanted list. Thinking that this guy made him spill his mouth, Pu Chang had killing intent towards this hollow spirit state cultivator. Everyone knew that Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect were secretly hunting YMO, but this couldn't be brought to the surface. Clear dream mosque martial sister, you're thinking too much. Pu Chang was just guessing. He didn't say that Infinity Sect was hunting YMO. Hu Jiming suddenly said calmly. Hearing this, Pu Chang immediately rejoiced. Eternity Sea Sect was scared of Clear Dream Mosque, but Godwind Valley wasn't. He immediately saluted with his fists. Thank you, brother Hu, for saying words of justice. I was indeed just guessing. Hu Jiming smiled and reached out his hand. Brother Pu, your body condensation state peak stage now. You can do whatever you want. Pu Chang smiled and didn't hesitate anymore. He reached out and grabbed towards Xianxia while saying, I'll take this spirit marrow pond. Haha. Everyone shook their heads. This fat man was clearly being used by Hu Jiming but didn't know it at all. Qing Han still wanted to say something but was stopped by a nun. Clearly, they knew that others wouldn't be scared of them three. The strongest of them was only hollow spirit state tertiary stage. That really was nothing here. Thud. Cultivation essence exploded, and before Pu Chang's hand touched Xianxia, he was struck back by Lin Yibin, retreating tens of steps. Lin Yibin was preparing on the side while Pu Chang was unexpecting. You're asking to die. Pu Chang reached out with his hand and pulled out a pair of daggers. They had a powerful temperament. Clearly it was a middle-grade cultivation artifact. Lin Yibin's face was serious as he pulled out a spear. This was his magic artifact, a low-grade cultivation artifact. Brother still isn't back. Tang Beiwei was worried. YMO just wanted to put 2 spirit stones on the teleportation formation but found that the space he had his divine damnation at was strange. Life force was gone here after he pulled out the spirit range, but there was one place that was still the same. A few thousand meters away on an ice peak. That peak didn't seem to lose life force. Instead, there was an icy flower-like thing there. YMO immediately dashed over. Ice carrot. YMO immediately recognized this flower. It was the level 9 spirit herb ice carrot. One that was mature. Ice carrot was the main ingredient for heaven grade level 9 pill truth carrot pill. It was the pill needed for disaster transformation states to reach truth realization state, but was much more precious than truth spirit pill. The main reason was that the spirit herbs for truth spirit pill, truth spirit grass, could be grown, but the ice carrot was very rare and couldn't be grown. It could increase the chance of reaching truth realization state by 40%, twice that of truth spirit pill. Other than this, the ice carrot also had another important function: to cure poison, even poison in the essence spirit. Without hesitation, YMO dug it up and put it in a jade box before putting it on the Herb King spirit range. There was still dense spirit chi down there. YMO immediately knew there was another spirit source here too. Perhaps it was a small spirit range. YMO almost had an obsession. He had to take it if he saw it. He used an earth mobility spell to search for the source of spirit chi. A day later, when he felt he was nearing the spirit source, there was a sudden message from the communication bead. Tang Beiwei knew he was doing divine damnation. She wouldn't message him if there wasn't some urgent situation. YMO couldn't care about the spirit source anymore and immediately dashed out. No treasure was more important than their safety. You overestimate yourself. Pu Chang looked at Lin Yibin, who had his dantian broken by him, and smirked as he wiped the blood from his mouth. Yibin, Su Tong rushed over. Ha ha! Brother Pu, good job. Pu Jiming clapped his hand in approval. He then looked at the remaining spirit marrow pawns and said, there are 7 whole spirit marrow pawns here, and 2 half full. I'll take 2. Pu Chang glanced at Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying and said, I'll take both these 2 women and their spirit marrow pawns. I'll take 1 too, a body condensation state level 9 said. The rest of the people were hesitating as these spirit marrow pawns didn't belong to ordinary people. They belonged to level 7 Pill King Yemo. Yemo wasn't here, so who knew if he would die? If he didn't die, what would happen if they used his spirit marrow pond? Just when they were hesitating, a cold voice sounded. This spirit marrow pond is mine. I won't give it. What are you going to do? Brother. Tang Beiwei heard this voice and knew her brother was back. Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying and them all came by Yemo's side. Although they knew Yemo was no match for them, him coming back still gave them a sense of security. Brother Yi, Brother Lin's dantian was destroyed, Luo Fei said sadly. Yemo looked at the despairing Su Tong and said, don't worry, Sister Su. I'm a level 7 Pill King. This is nothing. Su Tong immediately rejoiced. Yemo was a level 7 Pill King. Perhaps he could recover Lin Yibin's dantian. Suddenly, Pu Chang laughed. Other people are afraid of you, but I'm not. I'm going to kill you here today. What are you going to do? Can a dead person protect his wives? I've long wanted to kill you. Our sect member Wu Yu died to you, right? Today you can pay back for his life. Then his daggers made a creaking sound. Yemo scanned the people and said coldly, whoever else wants my spirit marrow pond, stand out. If you still stand with these pigs, then don't blame me. Yemo's sudden appearance made some cultivators retreat. Although Yemo's power wasn't high, he was Pill City's city lord and a level 7 Pill King. The Pill City lords weren't here, so they didn't do anything about what happened to Yemo. But who knew what would happen after they came back? You're Ning Xiaoma? Qinghan asked joyfully. Yemo nodded and smiled. Yes, martial sister Qinghan. Are Qing-Yi and Qing-Yu and them fine? It really is martial brother Xiaoma. It's great to see you. Qinghan immediately said. They're very well, they often talk about you, and so does Elder Shan. Then, Qinghan said to the 2 nuns, martial sister, let's go to martial brother Xiaoma's side. He saved us before. The martial sister of Clear Dream Mosque said respectfully to Yemo. So City Lord Yi really is here. The spirit marrow pawns belong to Pill King Yi. We of Clear Dream Mosque won't take it. Then, she pulled her 2 martial sisters and left the crowd, but didn't go to Yemo's side. They stood on another side. Clearly they didn't want to be enemies of Yemo but didn't want to be enemies of Hu Jiming either. Seeing that Qinghan wanted to say something, the other martial sister from Clear Dream Mosque quickly stopped her. Yemo smiled and didn't mind. It was already beyond his anticipation that Clear Dream Mosque would stand on the side. He wouldn't expect Clear Dream Mosque to come die with him now. His side only had a body condensation state level 9 and his dantian was destroyed. Yemo didn't look at them and instead said to the remaining people, this means you all want to rob my spirit marrow pawns? That's right, we want it, but it's not robbing. Everyone found these spirit marrow pawns. Anyone can take them, Hu Jiming said coldly. But not all cultivators were like Hu Jiming. There were 7 or 8 ordinary powered cultivators or those cultivators who didn't want to be enemies with Yemo who stood on the side again. They believed that even if they killed Yemo, they wouldn't get a share of the spirit marrow pawns and would still have to carry the blame for killing a level 7 Pill King. I'm Fusion Joy Sexy Gang. I don't want to be enemies with Pill King Yi, but I just want a spirit marrow pond. Everyone has a share of the treasure. One body condensation state level 9 said. Heaven Yen Sex Yijing looked at Yemo and then the spirit marrow pond. He actually saluted with his fists and left. He was body condensation state and if he didn't leave he might be able to get a share. But he left. However, the rest of the people didn't even say anything. Clearly, they believed Yemo would be killed by Pu Chang. Yemo saw that there were 2 hollow spirit state cultivators who stood in front of him wanting the pond and sneered. He was facing 7 cultivators, 2 body condensation state peak stage, 2 body condensation state level 9, 1 body condensation state middle stage, and 2 hollow spirit state power. EMO felt it very strange that these people found this place. Even he used a lot of effort and his formation skills reached level 7 before barely coming in here. If everyone all came in so easily, then the person who set up the formation can go die. He must be certain that no one would be able to get here before daring to leave the spirit marrow pond here for the spirit-devouring bugs to evolve. But Pu Chang couldn't wait anymore. He pulled out his twin daggers and they instantly turned into 2 10-meter-long swords, slicing at EMO from 2 sides. EMO felt the cultivation essence collapse brought about by that. A weaker person wouldn't be able to do anything against this, but EMO didn't mind at all. He used his cultivation essence and that feeling of collapse was completely gone. If it was just this fat man, he would be confident to kill him without the octagonal cauldron. With a clank, the daggers struck the octagonal cauldron and made an ear-screeching sound. Pu Chang was shook and subconsciously said, "You're already body condensation state power?" EMO hid his power just to ambush him. Why would he answer the question? He raised his hands and 7 baby arm-sized black lightning swords shot out. Pu Chang never expected EMO to have such terrifying lightning swords. This was almost the same as divine damnation and it was very sudden. It struck him head-on and he was instantly heavily injured. His skin tore and flesh apart and even his bones showed. "Wait, I give up. I give up the spirit marrow pond." Pu Chang forcefully tried to retrieve his daggers while calling in terror. Before his daggers flew above his head, 2 more lightning swords shot down. These 2 were the size of grown men's arms. Pu Chang grunted and was split in half by the lightning swords. Before his essence spirit could escape, Yemo's mist lotus heart fire swept out. Instantly, the person Pu Chang no longer existed. Before everyone could react, Pu Chang was killed. Pu Chneg was a body condensation state peak stage cultivator. Even if he underestimated Yemo, he shouldn't die that easily. Those 6 cultivators immediately reacted and wanted to retreat, but how could Yemo let them? He raised both hands and dense clutters of lightning arcs rained down. They were all black lightning arc swords. Even the divine damnation wouldn't have this dense lightning arcs, much less swords. No one dared to hold back and threw all sorts of magic artifacts at Yemo. Rumble, "I give up, Pil King Yi." But no matter how those cultivators cried, Yemo didn't show any mercy. His lightning swords were created from the divine damnation. They was extremely powerful. Those 2 hollow spirit states couldn't even cry and were killed. The body condensation state middle stage cultivator wasn't much better. He just begged and was killed. The 2 body condensation state level 9 were heavily injured and their cultivation essence was dissipating. This was different than divine damnation. After being injured by the divine damnation, your power would increase, but after being injured by Yemo's lightning sword, their cultivation essence would cripple. Before they could do anything, Zisu hacked out, bringing out a bloody mist. Yemo wasn't going to give them any time to breathe. If he did and they joined together to fight him, it wouldn't be that easy to kill them all. In less than half a minute, Yemo killed 6 cultivators and their attacks were all blocked by the octagonal cauldron. When the dense lightning arcs stopped, there was only Hu Jiming left in front of Yemo. He was like a demon now, his body was burnt dark and bloody. His hair was like messy hay. Yemo didn't use more lightning swords. That wave used up almost all his cultivation essence. He ate a few life force pills to recover his cultivation essence. Although the pill was too low grade for him now, it was better than nothing. In that brief moment of silence, Hu Jiming also woke up. He stared at Yemo in shock. He even suspected whether he was dreaming. He saw Yemo's cultivation level now. It was body condensation state primary stage, not even middle stage. A body condensation state primary stage cultivator was this powerful. Was this even allowed? But then, he thought about how Yemo killed Hollow Spirit State tertiary stage at Black Ice Sect as Hollow Spirit State level 1. That was probably true. A Hollow Spirit State level 1 reached body condensation state level 2 in such a short time and his power was this absurd? He wasn't that strong in body condensation state peak stage, but he was not bad. However, he couldn't even defend against those lightning arcs. Those who chose not to be enemies of Emo rejoiced at their decision. This Pill King Yi was too absurd. Even a body condensation state peak stage wouldn't be able to kill this many body condensation state tertiary stages in such a short time. On top of that, he was also a lightning spirit root. This was too shocking. A lightning spirit root Pill King was unheard of. How rare was the lightning spirit root? Who would use that for pill concoction? No one dared to talk right now as they knew how easy it would be for Emo to kill them. Emo was also shocked. His lightning sword was too strong. If his cultivation essence and spirit sense could keep up, it was a strong AoE ability. Emo clutched Zisu and walked slowly towards Hu Jiming. "Don't come over." Hu Jiming clearly hadn't completely woke up from the shock and said such useless words. But he immediately reacted and put away the flying sword above his head. "Pill King Yi, it was my mistake before. I retreat. I'm cultivator from Godwind Valley. You can't kill me." Emo stopped, and seeing this, Hu Jiming finally breathed easy. "Pill King Yi, our sect sent a cauldron-filling state elder to protect you before. Our relations are very good. It's my impulse today, please forgive me. I will pay back double the price, until Pill King Yi is satisfied." Emo sneered. "Is Godwind Valley very powerful? I'm the Pill City's city lord. I don't see myself very privileged. You're just an ordinary cultivator from Godwind Valley. I even killed Infinity Sects Yuan Guanan and Ming Wujian and Lightning Cloud Sects Tian Aofeng. So what if I kill an insect from the Godwind Valley?" Hu Jiming was dazed. He thought that Emo slaughtered in his fury, and now that he calmed down, why wouldn't he let him go? But suddenly, an extremely vibrant purple ray came above his head. Hu Jiming was scared shitless. He had heard of Yemo's purple ray, and even sneered at Tai Baifei of Infinity Sect. No matter how powerful it was just a sword technique, and Tai Baifei was many levels higher than Emo. Yet he couldn't even dodge a strike. How useless was he? But now, he fully understood how powerful Yemo's strike was. This strike almost carried his mind away. Luckily, his power was much higher than Emo, and despite being injured by the lightning arcs, he wasn't completely immersed in that purple ray. He reacted and hurriedly tried to release his flying sword to block it. But that instant, he wasn't just disappointed, he felt despair. He felt his flying sword was slow, very slow. This was a domain, this was definitely a domain. Hu Jiming came from a 9-star sect and he had knowledge. Domain was a high-level cultivator's power. It definitely wasn't something a body condensation state cultivator could control. Even prodigies could barely sense domains after cauldron-filling state. Usually, it was truth realization state cultivators who mastered domains. There were a few disaster transformation state cultivators who understood domain much greater than people of the same state. This strike made him feel that he had stepped foot in Yemo's domain. In this domain, he couldn't control anything. The fear of death spread, and he knew that if this continued, he would die for sure. Hu Jiming didn't dare to hold back anymore. He spat a few mouthfuls of essence blood and used a rune. His flying sword sped up instantly and barely blocked the purple ray. With a clank, Hu Jiming spat blood again and found his hand had disappeared. He didn't dare to stay anymore and turned to run. When almost everyone thought Emo would chase out and kill him, Emo stopped and even closed his eyes. Su Tong was watching Emo constantly. When he exerted his dominance, Su Tong finally felt assured. But in that most crucial moment, he let Hu Jiming run and instead closed his eyes. Su Tong immediately knew what was going on. Emo probably gained sudden enlightenment in the fight, and so she released her flying sword without hesitation and attacked Hu Jiming. Hu Jiming was like a dog without home right now. He had never seen someone have a domain in body condensation state, so he just wanted to run as far away as possible. He finally woke up again when Su Tong's flying sword caught up to his head. But then his mind sunk into an eternal void. His essence spirit was also killed by Su Tong's flying sword. The hall was very silent, and only Emo stood there with his eyes closed. Emo indeed felt this extremely abstruse thing. And so despite knowing Hu Jiming was running away, he still didn't move. He was scared that feeling would immediately disappear. When he used that strike, he felt he was the ruler of the heavens and earth. It was as though the surrounding space became his as he used Zisu. In this region of space, he could do whatever he wanted. He was the ruler, he was the controller. He didn't understand domains, but in that instant, he felt if his strike was perfected it would become very significant. After a long while, he nodded to Su Tong. He felt pity that there was no powerful opponent here. If there was, he would be able to unleash himself in battle and further strengthen that enlightenment. Xiaoma. Pilkingyi? Qing Han walked over. She wanted to call Martial Brother Xiaoma, but his power and status was far from what she could compare. Emo smiled. Martial Sister Qing Han. Just call me Martial Brother Xiaoma. Friendship won't change due to time and power. Xiaoma will always be that Xiaoma, not someone else. Qing Han, don't be rude. A martial sister from Clear Dream Mosque reproached and bowed to Emo. We didn't expect to see Pilkingyi here. Congratulations on powering up. Emo nodded and didn't say anything. He turned to Qing Han and said, there are 9 spirit marrow ponds here. You guys can take 2. Please send one to Martial Sister Ling Xiaoshuang for me. Martial Brother Xiaoma. You and Martial Sister Xiaoshuang. Qing Han said. Martial Sister Xiaoshuang didn't seem to be happy with Martial Brother Xiaoma at the Truth Fall Palace. Emo shook his head. I'm not close with her, but I'm close to her master Shan Qianbei. Emo didn't explain it. He had agreed to give Ling Xiaoshuang some spirit marrow. He knew that Shan Bingfeng didn't mean the top-grade spirit marrow here, but he found this due to her suggestion. Sister Su Tong. Collect the spirit marrow ponds you and Brother Lin cultivated in. Then Emo turned to the 8 cultivators who retreated and said, since you've encountered this place, everyone has an opportunity. You guys can have 1 spirit marrow pond, you 8 can split it. No one would dare to say anything even if Emo didn't give any away, but now that Emo said this, they all charged at the spirit marrow pond Emo gave them. Emo took the remaining 4 spirit marrow ponds. Then, Emo asked, I set up a level 7 formation here. How did you break it? He realized how those people got through before. It was probably due to him taking away the extreme grade spirit range, and thus the formation didn't have a spirit source to power it. The spirit-devouring bugs wouldn't be able to survive without the spirit chi supporting it. From that perspective, he saved these people. But the defense formation he set up used spirit stones. Why was it broken too? Yi Jing heard this and shivered, but he still walked out and saluted with his fists. Pilkingyi, it's my fault. I didn't know this was your defense formation, so I told them how to break it. You know formations? Emo asked. Yi Jing nodded. Yes. I'm Heaven Yensek's level 7 formation Grandmaster. Emo nodded. At this moment, a rumbling sounded as though something was going to collapse. Emo thought this place was going to collapse and quickly said, everyone leave. This place is going to collapse. Everyone retreated and flew out of this place back on the surface. There was still rumbling but no signs of collapse. However, no one wanted to go back down again and all got on their flying magic artifacts, bidding Emo farewell. When Emo saw their magic artifacts, he was dazed. Extreme-grade spirit artifacts could come in here? He was using an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. But he immediately realized each one had a cold resistance bead and formation attached to it. That worked as well. Emo saw the Clear Dream Mosque people didn't go, so he asked, Martial Sister Qing Han, how did you guys know about this place? Before Qing Han could reply, her martial sister said, a few months ago, a few cultivators who came here found that there was very dense spirit chi, so they sent out messenger flying swords before going down. My 2 martial sister and I were near the southern lands, so we came together after hearing the news. Emo nodded, so that was it. His location was exposed again, it wasn't suitable to stay here. Just when he was about to leave, a red messenger flying sword fell into his hands. There were only a few who could send him messenger flying swords, but after reading the content, he said heavily, let's go back to Mou City immediately. What's going on? Ning Qingxue asked. Pill City Shin Guanqing City Lord is back, he sent me this. There is trouble at the Pill City. He's not at Pill City and is waiting for me at Mou City. Emo had a bad feeling. Pill City is in trouble? Who dares to touch it? Su Tong didn't believe this. Ning Qingxue agreed to this and asked, husband, Yu Qichao and Shun Guanqing status are very high. Even the 9-star sects are very careful in the Pill City. Who would dare to touch them? Emo shook his head. I'm not sure. But City Lord Xinguanqing is a very honest person. He wouldn't trick me. His messenger flying sword didn't even mention Pill King Chichao. I suspect something might have happened to him. He knew that their statuses were very high in the Pill City, but they didn't really care about managing the city. What if someone used his conflict with 9-star sects to rally support from the 2 9-star sects and target the 2 city lords? Emo didn't say this, but Luo Ying could tell what he was thinking. She looked at Emo and asked, "You think there's internal conflict in Pill City? But I heard there's only a level 6 Pill King other than the 2 city lords who are level 7 Pill Kings. Even with an internal conflict, no one can replace them." "Let's go back first," Emo said. With his extreme-grade cultivation artifact Blue Moon, he would be able to escape even from cauldron-filling state tertiary stage cultivators. He didn't believe anyone could steal power from them in the Pill City. He was confused why Xinguanqing was in MOU City. With his connections, if he needed help, he wouldn't go to MOU City to find him. He was only a nascent soul state cultivator at the tournament. Emo let Su Tong control Blue Moon and took out Winter's Arrival, putting it in front of Blue Moon while he concocted the season wheat pill. This was his second time concocting this, and with his power increasing so much, he made it in half an hour. After Lin Yibin ate a season wheat pill, his dantian was completely recovered in 2 hours. Lin Yibin even wanted to die the instant his dantian was destroyed. How could an useless man recover his ancestors' glory? Yet now, he felt how correct his decision to follow a Pill King like Emo was. As long as he didn't lose his essence spirit, Emo could still probably save him. Su Tong was tearing up. Emo saving Lin Yibin was equivalent of saving her. Lin Yibin didn't say anything, but his mind was extremely surprised. Emo was able to save him because he was a level 7 Pill King, but he reached from Hollow Spirit State level 1 to Body Condensation State level 2 in half a year. This couldn't even be described as being prodigy. This was a miracle. Blue Moon got faster and faster. Soon, Emo and them passed through the glacier ranges. On their way, they saw many flying magic artifacts flying inside the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. But Blue Moon was too fast, so although those people wanted to ask Emo and them about the Forbidden Grounds, they didn't have the opportunity. It had been a month or so since Emo and them left the extreme south. After another 2 months, Emo reached Body Condensation State level 3, and they were very close to MOU City. Emo stopped cultivation and took back Winter's Arrival. Winter's Arrival had now formed a white drill-shaped cocoon. Emo put it back in the Golden Page world. It wasn't enough to help him yet, but he felt that one day, Winter's Arrival's sudden evolution would give him a huge surprise. 2 days later, when Blue Moon was about to enter MOU City, Emo suddenly said to Su Tong, "Sister Su, stop for a moment." Emo let them wait on Blue Moon while he flew out. Emo didn't fly far. Luo Ying and them could even scan him with their spirit sense. They found that the place Emo went had 3 cultivators fighting. However, their power wasn't worth mentioning. It was just 3 cauldron-filling state cultivators. 1 man and woman were attacking a scar-faced woman. This was the second time he saw this scar-faced woman. The first time was at Mang Mountain Town when Duanitai took him into that spirit rest tower to discuss things. That woman seemed to be searching for news of him and seemed excited. He wanted to question her afterwards, but wasn't able to find her. The woman was no match for them. She had more than 1 wound and tried to run a few times, but was stopped by the other 2. Emo landed near them and the 3 quickly stopped fighting. They all saw that Yemo's power was much higher than theirs. "You're Pill King Yi." The scar-faced woman recognized him and called out in surprise and joy. Emo nodded. "That's right, I am. You seem to know me?" The other 2 heard the name Pill King Yi, and their faces changed immediately. They wanted to leave. Who didn't know Yemo's name? Pill King Yi, quickly kill these 2. They injured your student in order to rob our things, and chased me here, the woman said desperately. Emo frowned. "My student?" The scar-faced woman quickly said, "Yes, it's Sure Tai. He came from the magical continent. He said you're his master. We were searching for your news at the Mang Mountain Town and heard you were at the Pill City. We were prepared to go to Pill City together, but then we heard you went back to MOU City, so we spent a year to get back here. Now Sure Tai is in the city. Emo immediately remembered. Shi Tai's sister was Shi Jingqing, who was Luo Yin. Her body was still in his golden page world. He didn't expect her brother to be in South Peace State. Shi Tai's talent was very absurd, with a mutated wind spirit root. The primordial chaos chant he taught him only had up to foundation establishment state. He probably wasn't in golden core state yet. Emo felt a little ashamed. He had wasted a wind spirit root. What's his power now? Emo still asked. The scar-faced woman said sadly. He's a pure wind spirit root but doesn't have the latter cultivation method. So he's stuck at foundation establishment state. Those sects are taking in disciples and I told him to check it out. But he said he has a master so he hasn't reached golden core state. Emo nodded. Come with me to MOU City. We'll see Shi Tai first. Those two. The scar-faced woman started to mention those two foundation establishment state cultivators who ran away but saw Emo wave his hands and shoot out two lightning arcs. Emo wasn't interested in picking up their belongings. The scar-faced woman looked back a few times, clearly wanting the two storage bags. But she was embarrassed to say it in front of Emo Luo Ying, and them saw Emo bring back the scar-faced woman and were very surprised. Emo explained things to them and let the scar-faced woman explain herself. After her talk, everyone knew her name was when Shulei, in a foundation establishment state team a few years ago. She met Shi Tai and became very good friends. Although she didn't say it, Emo and them guessed that they were married. The two cultivators from before had chased when Shulei for a storage ring. She got all the way to MOU City. When Shulei arranged Shi Tai to rest inside the city after he got injured, while she went out to look for some spirit herbs and was caught by the two. Blue Moon soon went inside MOU City. But when Emo found there were no cultivator guards and ordinary troops couldn't stop the cultivators going in and out, he frowned. Such a pretty place. Tang Beiwei and Ning Qingxue felt a sense of intimacy with the city. At least the city planning seemed similar to a modern city. There was lush green everywhere and it was very well organized. The streets were many times wider than Pill City. 11 people got off the flying magic artifact and yet no one came to inquire about them. This made Emo extremely unhappy. Even though there were no guards in Pill City, there were still people watching in the dark. But here there was no one. There were only a few guards chatting at the city gates. He left this place to Yi Wuxia before he left, but now he didn't see Yi Wuxia at all. Luckily, he soon saw Su Changji and Shen Guanqing in the city lord estate. Shen Guanqing also saw Emo and immediately got up. But Emo walked in with Luo Ying and them first. Emo, you're back. Shen Guanqing saw Emo and the worry in his eyes lessened. Emo could feel Shen Guanqing's worry for him and felt a little warm. When he was ambushed by the Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect, most people were keeping their distance with him except for a few friends. Shen Guanqing just asked this and looked at Emo in daze. You're already body condensation state level 2. How is that possible? Ha! Su Changji was dumbfounded by Emo's power as well. When he first saw Emo was only nascent soul state like him. But now, Emo was body condensation state while he was only hollow spirit state level 4. Yes, Guantian Pil King Qianbei. Wanbei had some fortunate encounters and thus my power rose up fast. But then Emo asked, Qianbei, where is Silver Moon Pil King Qianbei? Emo didn't want to talk much about his power and he was already concerned for Silver Moon Pil King. A sliver of sadness flashed across Shen Guanqing's eyes and he said, Let's talk about this inside. Emo nodded and turned to Su Changji. Martial brother? Where is Yi Wuxia? And how come there's no one at the city gates? Shen Guanqing said, Emo, don't worry. MOU City doesn't seem to have guards on the surface, but it's like Pill City now. There are 2 truth realization state cultivators guarding it. Yes, 2 truth realization state Qian Bais came with Guantian City Lord Qianbei. No one would dare to wreak havoc here. Martial brother, don't worry. Yi Wuxia is in solitary cultivation trying to reach foundation establishment state. Su Changji quickly said. Emo immediately felt assured. However, he didn't want MOU City to be managed like Pill City. He wanted MOU City to have its own laws, not a place that was tight on the inside and loose on the outside. There needed to be the same strict laws. Not anyone could come as they please. Ning Qingxue seemed to know what Emo was thinking and immediately said, "Husband, I will help you later. I will set up a complete residence and law system just like Luoyu City." Su Changji looked at Ning Qingxue in confusion. He knew about Emo but didn't know Ning Qingxue. Clearly they were close, or she wouldn't say something like managing the Mou city. Emo quickly introduced Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying and them. Then, he arranged Su Changji and Ning Qingxue to settle the rest of the people before quickly leaving here with Shen Guanqing. Shen Guanqing brought Emo to the innermost secret room, and after opening the restriction, Emo saw the pale-faced Yu Kuikeo. He was shook and asked, "What happened to Silver Moon Pill King?" He was scared something happened to Yu Qichao, and now he was indeed in trouble. Shen Guanqing closed the restriction and said to Emo, "We were intentionally led out of the Pill City. Attacking you was just a supplementary goal." Emo's heart sunk. The two city lords were drawn out of the Pill City indeed. These people's guts were boundlessly large. They dared to attack Silver Moon Pill King. How could they be afraid of him then? Emo scanned Silver Moon Pill King with his spirit sense but didn't see anything amiss. He didn't ask and waited for Shen Guanqing to explain. A year ago, Silver Moon Pill King said he had a sudden feeling and was prepared to break through to level 8 Pill King. But just before he went into solitary cultivation, he got news and that pill fountain appeared. Pill fountain? Emo subconsciously interrupted. He had never heard of it. Shen Guanqing didn't mind and nodded. There were pill fountains in the ancient times. It's normal you haven't heard of it as it hasn't appeared for a long time. It said that an immortal pill fell on Luoyu continent and eventually formed a fountain. This fountain was the pill fountain. Its water can cure all diseases for mortals, but can't be used for pill concoction or used by cultivators. But the pill fountain had a very important use for pill concoctors. It said that in the ancient times, when a pill king wanted to progress, he needed to go sit at the pill fountain to find enlightenment. This is why there were large amounts of level 9 pill kings and even some pill kings that could concoct immortal pills. But eventually, the pill fountain appeared less and less. It's been more than 1,000 years since its last appearance. Emo realized and asked, "Qian Bei and Silver Moon Pill King knew of this and went there?" Shen Guanqing nodded. "Yes. When we heard of this news, we were very excited and went together." Emo knew the pill fountain must be fake, but he just wanted to know who told the two city lords about this. "You must think the pill fountain is fake." Shen Guanqing seemed to know what Emo was thinking. Emo nodded. "Yes. I think there's someone who intentionally drew the two city lords out." But Shen Guanqing shook his head. "The pill fountain is real. It really did appear. Those people who notified us didn't trick us." Shen Guanqing sighed and didn't continue speaking. He turned to Emo and asked, "Do you know what level the highest level Pill King in South Peace State is right now?" Emo didn't know why Shen Guanqing suddenly asked this but still replied, "I don't know for sure, but I heard there's a level 8 and level 9 Pill King in Pill City. They don't care about matters and only seek the Pill Dao or the Immortal Dao." Shen Guanqing heard this and sneered. "Do you believe this?" Emo was dazed. Seeking the Immortal Dao, of course he believes this. Aren't all cultivators seeking the Immortal Dao? Shen Guanqing saw this and said coldly, "Seeking the Immortal and Pill Dao is real, but do you really believe they don't care about matters?" Shen Guanqing said again, "There's no hidden level 8 and level 9 Pill King in the Pill City, but there's indeed another hidden Pill King. He's only a level 7 Pill King and he never cared about other matters, at least on the surface. But every year, he takes more than 70% of the Pill City's level 8 and level 9 spirit herbs. There are this many Pill Kings and Truth Realization State cultivators in the Pill City as well as the spirit herbs from other places in South Peace State. How many level 8 and level 9 spirit herbs would that be? How could someone who doesn't care about matters take away so many spirit herbs?" Shen Guanqing suddenly got up and clenched his fists. "This much of Pill City's resources each year is concentrated on him because we respect him too as a Qianbei and we never said anything. We even help him collect high-level spirit herbs. But we didn't expect him to attack Silver Moon Pill King." Emo felt this was complicated, but he remembered Kong Yi telling him that the strongest Pill King in South Peace State was only a level 7 Pill King. It really was so. Shen Guanqing calmed down and said defeatedly, The most powerful person in the Pill City isn't the City Lord nor the Vice City Lord, but the Grand City Lord. There's a hard rule in the Pill City. Whoever has the strongest Pill Dao power is the Grand City Lord. There's no reason. That person reached level 7 Pill King earlier than me and Silver Moon Pill King, so he's Grand City Lord. Only when someone surpasses level 7 Pill King would the Grand City Lord be lowered to Grand Paid Guest. EMO realized something. It was clearly that Grand City Lord who harmed Silver Moon Pill King. He was scared that Silver Moon Pill King would reach level 8 Pill King, and thus he would have to give his Grand City Lord title away. Perhaps he doesn't care much about this position, but then he wouldn't be getting 70% of all Pill City resources. Without that, how could he reach a higher Pill King level? How could he seek the Immortal Dao? This means it also seemed normal that he was purged. That Grand City Lord was afraid he would surpass him too. Silver Moon Pill King and Tianguan Pill King were honest and respectable characters. So even if he reached level 8 Pill King, they wouldn't think much and would only be happy for him. Silver Moon Pill King Qianbei is already truth realization state power. Even if that Grand City Lord wants to attack him, how would he be able to ambush him? EMO asked. Xin Guanqing said, "It's because of the pill fountain. It's real, but it was found earlier and trapped. When Martial Brother Yu was finding enlightenment there, he was ambushed because someone put a spirit-corroding flower there." Level 9 Spirit Herb Spirit Corroding Flower? The legendary flower that can only have one in every 10 million kilometers. EMO asked in shock. EMO knew it all too well. A level 9 spirit herb, colorless and odorless. Its greatest use was to corrode essence spirit. This corrosion was subtle. If a cultivator sat in a place in meditation trying to gain enlightenment, it would be even easier. Thinking about this, EMO suddenly got up. Silver Moon Pill King. Xin Guanqing nodded. You thought right. Martial Brother Yu is indeed poisoned with the spirit corroding flower, and his essence spirit is being rapidly corroded. Qianbei came to MOU City to see if there's any way to treat it. EMO finally understood why Xin Guanqing came to MOU City and not somewhere else. Xin Guanqing sighed. Yes and no. Martial Brother Yu reached level 8 Pill King at the pill fountain, but he realized he was poisoned with the spirit corroding flower. He didn't think it was someone from Pill City at first, so we took him back to Pill City quickly. There, we realized something happened to you. Martial Brother Yu was furious, and when Lightning Cloud's sect got news of this, they immediately announced to seal their sect, but Martial Brother Yu asked Infinity Sect to hand out the cultivator who killed Brother G. However, Infinity Sect's sect was adamant and denied it. There were nearly 20 truth realization state cultivators in Pill City and more disaster transformation state cultivators. We didn't expect the Infinity Sect to be this tough. EMO didn't say anything, but he was very grateful. Silver Moon Pill King was poisoned but still thought of getting revenge for him. Seeing EMO's expression, Xin Guanqing knew what EMO was thinking and said, "You don't need to feel guilty. Martial Brother Yu has great hopes for you. He believes you're the only one with hope of reaching level 9 Pill King. He could tolerate people assassinating him, but you're the hope of the cultivation realm. He doesn't want something to happen to you. He wanted to annihilate Infinity Sect before the spirit corrosion flower ruined him." EMO knew that in the cultivation realm, if a sect sealed itself off, one wasn't usually allowed to attack it if there wasn't an extreme extent of conflict. Lightning Cloud Sect sealed the sect, so they only spoke of Infinity Sect, but that was for them. If it was him, when his power reached a certain state, even if Lightning Cloud Sect ran out of South Peace State, he would chase them and annihilate them. Xin Guanqing continued. But at this moment, Grand City Lord said that we, Pill City, can't oppress people with power, and that no one showed their faces when they stopped Lu Qianbei and you. How can we be sure it was Infinity Sect? We immediately knew that it was the Grand City Lord who ambushed us. Speaking of this, Xin Guanqing's tone was sad. Martial Brother Yu and I were very respectful of Grand City Lord and gave him 70% of the resources of our own accord. We never objected to anything he said, yet he treats us like this. Martial Brother Yu was extremely disappointed, and the spirit corroding flower came into effect. I no longer wanted to stay in the Pill City, so I brought Martial Brother Yu here. I wanted to come back and protect you, but after seeing this place I liked it, so I decided to stay here. That Grand City Lord. Emo asked worriedly. Shen Guanqing waved his hand. Don't worry about that. He doesn't intend to attack this place. Otherwise, he wouldn't be ambushing Martial Brother Yu. Plus, he doesn't need to do that. After we left, only he can make decisions there. He reached his goal and Martial Brother Yu won't be able to live, so he doesn't need to worry. After we left, some truth realization state cultivators who knew about the situation also left. 3 came with me to MOU City, and 7 or 8 left elsewhere. Although Pill City is still the #1 powerful place, it isn't the same Pill City as before. Shen Guanqing sighed. Pill City's glorious past was gone. A jealous Pill King City Lord wouldn't be able to bring prosperity to Pill City no matter what. From now on, Pill City would only slowly weaken. Emo calmed down a little. With Guantian Pill King and 3 truth realization state cultivators here. No matter how tough the Infinity Sect was, they wouldn't dare to come here for trouble. After the Lightning Cloud Sect announced they were sealing the sect, they wouldn't come here as well. This meant that MOU City was very safe. After he set up the defense formation, even if Infinity Sect came, they wouldn't be able to return. Even though Guantian Pill King and Silver Moon Pill King left Pill City, there was no way they would help Infinity Sect attack here. Suddenly, Emo thought of something and asked, Chen Bei, who is the person who told you about the appearance of Pill Fountain? You've seen that person and you've asked about him. He's level 4 Pill King Zhao Shuntian. He probably serves the Grand City Lord and that's why he betrayed us, Shen Guanqing said sadly. It was indeed him. That MOU Shen had quite the background and could even connect with the Grand City Lord. At this moment, Emo realized how noble and respectable Silver Moon Pill King was. Even though he knew who ambushed him, he just left Pill City without saying anything. If it was someone else, he would fight with the Grand City Lord. With Silver Moon Pill King and Guantian's respect, it would be the entire South Peace State Cultivation Realm's disaster if the Pill City had an internal war. Tens of Truth Realization State cultivators and more disaster transformation states would split into 2 factions and fight. If there were 10 level 9 spirit herbs found in the South Peace State each year, then at least 8 would flow to Pill City. Level 9 spirit herbs were like a cultivator's guarantee for immortal ascension. Yet Silver Moon Pill King and Guantian Pill King gave this Pill City away, which meant giving up the spirit herbs' resources, reducing their chances of immortal ascension. They did all this to stop internal conflict. A cultivator could do all this. How was it not worthy of respect? He should think of all ways to save Silver Moon Pill King. Spirit corroding flower, it was almost incurable. Emo frowned and after a long while he sighed. Guantian Pill King Qian Bei, is there a cure for the spirit corroding flower? Shen Guanqing shook his head. Spirit corroding flower corrodes the essence spirit. The longer it's been in effect, the more incurable it is. After a year, even if an immortal comes, he wouldn't be able to do anything. But within the first year, there are 2 spirit herbs that can cure it. But both are extremely rare. One is level 9 spirit herb Immortal Curl Flower. It can rebuild a cultivator's essence spirit before it dissipated, but I've never seen it. Another is level 9 spirit herb Ice Carrot that can stop the corrosion, but I've also never seen it. Ice Carrot? Emo suddenly got up. He had one. It was something to concoct Truth Carrot pill. Why didn't he think of it? Shen Guanqing seemed surprised, and Emo took out the Ice Carrot before Shen Guanqing said anything. Guantian Pill King, this is Ice Carrot. You have Ice Carrot? Shen Guanqing grabbed the jade box and was shook. Emo nodded. I got it when I went to Ice God Forbidden Grounds this time. You can use it to help Silver Moon Pill King Qian Bei first. Shen Guanqing opened the box. It was indeed a mature level 9 spirit herb Ice Carrot. At this moment, Shen Guanqing seemed to feel his body was full of vitality again. It could be said that he and Silver Moon Pill King used all their efforts of the Pill City, and yet Silver Moon Pill King fell to this predicament. There was no way he wasn't disappointed and sad. But now that they had the Ice Carrot, it meant that Silver Moon Pill King could recover. Brother Emo, thank you. Don't call us Qian Bei anymore. Just call me and Silver Moon Brother. We didn't see you wrong. You're a real person indeed, Shen Guanqing said shakily. Emo knew what Shen Guanqing meant. Ice Carrot was an extreme treasure that almost never appeared. It could increase chances of disaster transformation states reaching truth realization state. He waved his hand. Guantian Pil King Qian Bei, you and Silver Moon Pil King will always be my Qian Bais. Let's go treat Silver Moon Pil King first. The earlier the better. In Yimo's heart, both the Pil Kings were extremely nice to him. Even if he had to take out his extreme grade spirit range, he wouldn't hesitate at all. Xin Guanqing put the ice carrot in Yu Qichao's mouth and used his cultivation essence to help Yu Qichao digest it. In 7 minutes, Silver Moon Pil King's face started to turn red and he opened his eyes. Xin Guanqing took his hand away and said desperately, "Martial brother Yu, hurry up and use your cultivation essence to digest the ice carrot." Yu Qichao's eyes were wide with disbelief, but he soon realized what was going on and closed his eyes again. This time, he didn't need Xin Guanqing's help and digested the ice carrot himself. Soon, the ice carrot shrunk and disappeared. Half an hour later, Yu Qichao suddenly got up and spat a mouthful of black blood. Before it landed on the ground, he burned it with his flame to nothing. Then he opened his eyes. Spirit-corroding flower. Such a powerful thing. Xin Guanqing quickly said, "Luckily Yimo brought back an ice carrot. Otherwise, I don't dare to imagine the result." Yu Qichao got up and saluted with his fists. "Thank you, brother Yimo. Otherwise, I would have lost my life." Yimo quickly returned the gesture. "I brought trouble to you too this time. I'm truly sorry." Yu Qichao laughed in self-scorn. "It has nothing to do with you. Even without you, it would be the same result after I reached level 8 Pil King. That Infinity sect is quite well connected. They could even contact Pil City's Grand City Lord." Yimo knew what was going on. Without question, it was Mo Yoshin's Master Changshun Pil King. He decided to ask later about the origin of that Zhao Shuntian. Why was he so nice to Mo Yoshin? But Yimo knew now wasn't the time. He smiled and said, "Congratulations on reaching level 8 Pil King, Silver Moon Pil King Qian Bei. Now if you go back to Pil City, you will be Grand City Lord." Silver Moon Pil King smiled. "I don't really desire to become the City Lord. I won't go back to Pil City. I hope City Lord you won't mind us staying here." Yimo was right. If he went back to Pil City, he would be Grand City Lord indeed. But Yu Qichao wasn't interested in that at all. It was also that he was disappointed. He knew that the first City Lord of Pil City was too idealistic when he created Pil City. With the resources in the cultivation realm growing scarcer and scarcer, the number one person of the Pil City had the most cultivation resources. Even if conflict didn't occur by his hands, it would occur later. It was unavoidable. This was human nature. Yimo looked surprised and joyful and quickly said, "It's Wan Bei's honor to have 2 city lords stay at Mou City." Although he was a level 7 Pil King now, his foundation was a far cry compared to Silver Moon Pil King and Guantian Pil King. If he could discuss Pil Dao more with them, his Pil Dao would definitely increase a few levels. "You can even take out the ice carrot? We indeed saw you right," Silver Moon Pil King said and suddenly frowned at Yimo. "You're already body condensation state level 2? Yimo nodded. "Yes, Wanbei had some fortunate encounters, so I've been progressing fast." Yu Qichao nodded and said after a moment, "I know you have great enmity with Infinity Sect and Lightning Cloud Sect, but cultivators can't have an unstable foundation. Otherwise, no matter how fast you cultivate it would be pointless. We're here and there are also a few truth realization state cultivators here. You don't need to worry about Infinity Sect coming here, just cultivate." Although he respected the two a lot, it didn't matter if they knew Time Formation Disc or Bitter Bamboo, so he didn't say. Wanbei understands. Wanbei will set up a few defense formations in Mou City. Even if Infinity Sect comes, I won't be scared. Yu Qichao nodded and gave a storage ring to Yimo. "There are a few spirit ranges here and some formation materials you can use. I need to discuss some things with Guantian Pil King. If you need help with formations, I can ask the 2 truth realization state friends to help." Yimo came out and breathed easy. It was best for him that Silver Moon Pil King was fine. Lightning Cloud Sect sealed the sect and Infinity Sect clearly didn't dare to come to Mou City. He didn't expect the 2 Pil King Qian Bais to help him get revenge. He would get revenge for Jiling Qian Bei himself. He needed to set up a formation for Mou City, so he took out the storage ring Yu Qichao gave him. He looked at it and was dumbfounded. The storage ring had enormous space, and there were 2 middle-grade spirit ranges and 3 low-grade spirit ranges. Other than this, there were all sorts of formations and forgery materials stacked up like mountains. This was enough to set up level 8 formations for a few cities, much less just one. He was admiring Lu Wuhu's wealth before, but now he knew what true wealth was. Emo was grateful to Silver Moon Pill King and put away the storage ring carefully. He was a level 7 formation grandmaster now, but if he concentrated, he would be able to reach level 8 formation grandmaster soon. He focused and scanned with spirit sense. He wanted to discuss about MOU city management with Xianxia, but saw a crowd hustled together on the streets. Beiwei and Xianxia were all there. Emo dashed over without hesitation. What's going on? Emo arrived and saw a body on the ground. It was an ordinary person. Your city lord master? A bulky soldier asked in disbelief. Emo nodded. This soldier was probably Yi Wuxi's man and had seen him before. Ning Xianxia quickly came over and said, "A Foundation establishment state cultivator killed him because he blocked his way. We came over and asked what was going on. But these people said immortal masters have higher status and they are acquitted of killing ordinary people." Emo's face sunk immediately and suddenly said, "Call Yi Wuxi here now. His bullshit solitary cultivation is no longer needed." "Yes, City Lord Master," that soldier quickly said. Yi Wuxi came very quickly, but Emo saw he was a Foundation establishment state cultivator. "Master, you're back." Yi Wuxi ran over in joy. Emo's face sunk. "Who made the rule that cultivators can kill ordinary people in MOU City? What did I tell you before I left? In MOU City everyone is equal. What did you do?" Yi Wuxi was dazed. He didn't expect Emo would call him out to reproach him, but he said carefully, "There were no immortal masters before, but then immortal masters came, so I made that rule." Emo said coldly, "You don't need to be the vice city lord anymore. Ning Xianxia will be the vice city lord and you will help her establish laws. If this thing happens again, you don't need to be my disciple anymore." Although Emo was scaring Yi Wuxi a little, he was indeed furious. With Su Changji here, Yi Wuxi was able to set the rule of equality between cultivators and ordinary people, but because he was a cultivator himself, he began to discriminate against mortals. "Yes, master." Yi Wuxi shivered and quickly bowed before saying to Ning Xianxia, "Yi Wuxi greets Vice City Lord Ning." She stood right next to master. Clearly the two were very close. Emo nodded. "From now on, MOU City will enforce the law of equality. If cultivators dare to kill ordinary people, they will be dealt with like this person." Then Emo flung out a lightning bolt and that shocked Foundation establishment state cultivator was blown to dust. Everyone saw Yemo's power and the streets were silent. Some cultivators started to retreat slowly, wanting to leave this city. What was the point of staying in a city in which cultivators had the same status as mortals? Even in cultivation cities, the status of Qi gathering, Foundation establishment states, and Golden Core states were greatly different. With these cultivators leaving, more and more cultivators knew the city lord of MOU City came back and had set up the law of equality. Cultivators who heard this left MOU City in horror while ordinary people rejoiced. The days of cultivators abusing them were over. Yi Wuxi saw this many cultivators leaving and said worriedly, "Master, those cultivators left. Will this place become an ordinary city like before?" Emo said calmly, "Take back all the land the cultivators took for free. If they want to buy or rent, they will need to pay spirit stones. From now on, MOU City's land will be very expensive." Ning Xianxia knew what Emo meant and said, "Beiwei and I will complete the regulations here. Do what you need to do. By the way, Sister Susu went back to MOU Lake. You can go later." He just remembered that he told Yi Wuxi to set that up just like Luoyu City's Luoyu Lake. Yi Wuxi looked at him and quickly said, "Yes, master. MOU Lake is built." He finally breathed easy. He knew master was truly angry just then. If master was angry to the extreme and kicked him out, he would be finished. Emo breathed easy after handing city management to Ning Xianxia and Tang Beiwei. He believed the city would be managed better with their help. Then Emo went to visit Shirtai. When Shirtai saw Emo, he was overjoyed. He thought he would be like this for the rest of his life, but he saw his master in the South Peace State and came to this city. Emo arranged for Shurtai and Wenshulei to stay near Mo Lake before giving him the complete primordial chaos chant and some pills before leaving. Then, Mo started preparing to rebuild the city's protection formation. Ning Qingxue and them knew that Mo was going to set up the city defense formation, so they didn't come to ask Mo for small things. Eventually, even Luo Ying and Luo Fei came to help. With Ning Qingshue's system of laws being enforced, Mou City became the first city on Luoyu continent to have laws. Lin Yibin and Su Tong also followed Ning Qingxue and them. They were there to help and set up authority. Because the spirit qi in Mou City was lacking, it was mostly mortals or qi gathering and foundation establishment state cultivators here. He heard that Mo didn't die and was further set on staying here. Now that Ning Qingxue became the new city lord, he came to report to Mo at the city lord estate immediately. Mou City's spirit qi was lacking, and although there was a spirit gathering formation, it couldn't attract cultivators. Those low-level cultivators came here due to Mo's name. Those who knew that Mo was being purged by the Infinity Sect all left. Eventually, even the last batch of low-level cultivators were scared off by Mo's equality. So, there were very few cultivators in Mou City right now. So, despite Ning Qingxue and them being nascent soul-state cultivator, even if they didn't have the two body condensation state bodyguards, their power was still at the pinnacle of the city. As for the three truth realization state guards secretly guarding, they never even came out. They were all told by Silver Moon Pilking and Shen Guanqing to help Mo set up the defense formation. As Ning Qingshue's laws were announced, some people were getting kicked out of Mou City. With some cultivators leaving, there really were few cultivators. The remaining ones admired Pil King Yi to the bone and didn't want to leave. Mou City also enforced citizenship. Everyone who entered the city had to be strictly logged. No one could come in secretly. So, it was easy to leave Mou City now, but it wouldn't be easy to come in again. Mo focused his mind on the defense formation now. To him, a level 7 defense formation was pointless. He was going to set up a level 8 defense formation. He knew he was still a bit away from being a level 8 formation grandmaster, but he believed he would be able to reach that level after studying for a while. He already had new enlightenments in that ice god Forbidden Grounds. It even formed the fetus of a new system, but he didn't get much time to think about it at the time. But now that Mo had time to think about the formations in the ice god Forbidden Grounds and simulate it with the 3 birth chant, he could indeed reach level 8 grandmaster in some time. This was just one of the reasons. The other reason was that Mo believed his formation skills were better than he showed. His formations has always been set up in a rush, and he used formation flags that were used for everything. He didn't make formation flags for a specific formation. So, Mo believed that if he made unique formation flags and carefully thought about formations taking consideration of geology, his formation skills would be better. Plus, he could now barely forge mid-spirit artifacts and sometimes top-grade spirit artifacts. A forgery master's formation flags would definitely be better. Plus, ever since he reached level 7 formation grandmaster, he didn't spend much time on formations. This time, in order to break through, Mo went into the Golden Page world and used the time formation disk to perfect his formation system. He had spent an entire year simulating inside the time formation disk while only 1 month passed outside. No one went to disturb Mo. When Mo was beginning to gradually perfect his system, he put away the time formation disk and left the Golden Page world. He believed he had the capability to set up level 8 formations now. Then, he spent another month to check the geology. In this month, Mo looked carefully at the plain outside Mou City, as well as the 2 intertwining rivers, and decided to set up 3 formations outside Mou City. The first formation would encompass the river and plains as well as the mountain and the fields below the river. He wanted to use the spirit gathering formation to turn the field into a spirit farm to grow spirit crops. The main thing was that when more cultivators came, ordinary people could use it to trade with cultivators. That way, even ordinary people could live a nice life. This formation needed too many materials and the range was too big. With his current power, even though he was a level 8 formation grandmaster already, he could at most set up a level 7 defense formation. The second formation Yi-Mo planned to set up 100 kilometers from Mou City. Yi-Mo want to set this as a level 8 defense formation. As for the third one, it would be the final defense formation outside Mou City. He believed it must be a level 8 formation and a level 8 attack formation needed to be added. He also set up a level 7 formation outside the Spirit Marrow place, but that was seen through by a level 7 formation Grandmaster. This gave Yi-Mo a warning. He set up the formation casually, not believing people would be able to come there. Yet someone did, and he was a formation Grandmaster. So, he must not let anyone find any weakness in his formation. Not even a formation Grandmaster. In these days, Yi-Mo had been completely working on making formation flags and setting up spirit ranges. He didn't keep a single one of the spirit ranges Silver Moon Pill King gave him. He planted them all below Mou City. In these few days, everyone could hearing rumbling sounds. When Yi-Mo was placing the spirit range, Yu Qichao even came personally and brought 2 truth realization state cultivators to help. 3 months later, Yi-Mo set up more than 10 formations. Defense, spirit gathering, air restriction, attack formation. He even rebuilt the formation in the City Lord Estate and Mou Lake. Eventually, Yi-Mo could simple set up level 7 formations and spent a little time to set up a complete level 8 formation. When Yi-Mo settled the spirit range below Mou City and closed the spirit gathering formation, everyone in Mou City felt an intense spirit chi. Those rare few cultivators who didn't leave Mou City felt the dense spirit chi and immediately rejoiced. They all chose to sit down and cultivate immediately. A place with this level of spirit chi density was usually only in the hands of big sects. Even big cultivation cities didn't have this. Brother Yi-Mo is really amazing. The formations he set up so quickly are all level 8 formation. Jiling brother is really unfortunate, Xin Guanqing sighed. He was about to be a truth realization state cultivator and of course could feel the power of Yi-Mo's formations. Yu Qichao nodded. If Jiling was still alive, he would be overjoyed at a formation genius like Yi-Mo. Mou City's formations were completed. Those mortals living inside could all get a share of spirit farm. Those cultivators who stayed in Mou City would have their own place, but those cultivators who wanted to come to Mou City would have trouble. Under Tang Beiwei and Ning Qingshua's organization, Cultivation Business Streets and Mortal Business Streets formed. Pills and all sorts of resources flowed into the Cultivation Business Streets. The precious pills that didn't appear in other places would appear in Mou City. Foundation Establishment Pill, Cultivation Increasing Pill, Blue Wind Pill, Condensed Red Pill, Chao Huan Pill, Soul Condensation Pill, Hollow Meridian Pill. As long as you had spirit stones, you could even buy Dew Condensation Pill and higher. In a short time, Mou City's name rang through the entire South Peace State. Almost all the cultivators wanted to flow to Mou City, and those who left before were in immense regret. It was easy to leave but too hard to get back in. Mou City had the resources and future of Pill City but was 100 times prettier than Pill City. The management was thousands of times better as well. In Pill City, low-level cultivators had to move aside respectfully when they saw high-level cultivators and weren't allowed to contest valuable things with them. But in Mou City everyone was equal. Now, it was too hard to settle in Mou City. There was no way to cheat the citizenship system, and the price of land was not something ordinary cultivators could afford. Even hollow spirit state and body condensation state cultivators could only rent a place. But those foundation establishment state and even chi-gathering cultivators who stayed in Mou City before had their own place. Their land couldn't be taken away, as in Mou City, even a truth realization state was equal to an ordinary citizen. Those chi-gathering cultivators who knew business all rented their land to high-level cultivators and now didn't need to look around for resources. They just had to rent a place together and could cultivate. As time moved on, more and more cultivators came to Mou City and all sorts of resources, materials and spirit herbs flowed to Mou City. Mou City's commercial streets became more and more developed and the city grew prosperous. At this moment, Yi-Mo was walking side by side with Luoying and Ning Qingxue by the river outside the city. After separation and running, they were finally settled. No one spoke now. This warmth and peace was what they'd always been seeking, and now that they finally got it, they felt how precious it was. Husband, I really like it here. If possible, I really want to live here my entire life. We can cultivate together and walk out together. Luoying raised her pretty face and her eyes were full of anticipation. She was a little older than Ning Qingxue, but her heart was younger than her. Her request was simple, to be with the person she loved in the place she liked. Everything else came second. Emo nodded and pulled their hands. When things end here and MOU City is stable, you guys can stay here and cultivate. Qingxue can help me look after MOU City. Are you going to go again? Luo Susu felt her hands shaking. She feared Emo leaving them again the most. Emo embraced Susu and said softly, I don't want to leave you guys as well, but it is a long time past the date I promised Song Yangzhu I would come for her. I'm afraid they're getting worried, so I want to bring Yiling and Song Yangzhu as well as Jingguan all here. Then we can all live in MOU City and never separate. But Emo didn't say that when his power was strong enough, he would get revenge at Infinity Sect. Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying didn't speak. They didn't want Emo to leave, but it wasn't right to leave Song Yangzhu and them in North Far State. Emo sighed. It's a pity I'm only a level 8 formation grandmaster now. If I'm one day a level 9 formation grandmaster or even higher, I will set up a teleportation formation between MOU City and North Far State. And also there's Yimo. Ask about her when you go. Ning Qingxue said sadly. She thought about her parents. Who knew if little Yimo would miss her parents? Yimo never mentioned it, but how could she not know? Yimo was worried about Yimo the most. Luo Ying suddenly blushed as though she wanted to say something. Yimo embraced Luo Ying tightly and said, Susu, what do you want to say? There's only us three here. Ning Qingxue suddenly grabbed Luo Ying's other arm and said, Sister Susu asked me last time why she still wasn't pregnant. But then Ning Qingxue also said quietly, Actually, I want to know why we're still not pregnant after being with you for so long. They'd long been wanting to ask this, but they were too shy and were with other people. Emo held them softly and said, Don't worry. It's just that I don't want a child now. When we're stronger then we can think about it. Before Emo didn't really understand, but he had realized now that if a female cultivator wanted to get pregnant, she needed to stop cultivation for at least a few years. Emo knew now was the time for them to improve their cultivation. They couldn't stop. The higher the cultivation level, the longer the lifespan. Why even worry about having offsprings now? Emo was already very happy with Emo. Suddenly, a red flying sword landed on Yemo's hand. Emo saw it and his face changed drastically. He quickly took Ning Qingxue and Luo Ying flying east. What happened? Ning Qingxue asked. Luo Ying also looked at Emo in confusion. Emo gave the flying sword to the two and said, It's Cheng Nana who messaged me. She's Zifeng's wife. I didn't expect her and Zifeng to be in South Peace State as well. But Zifeng left her because he couldn't cultivate. I only knew this because I saw her in Truth Fall City once. Zifeng is here too? Ning Qingxue asked in shock. Emo nodded and before he spoke, the sound of fighting came. Emo saw Cheng Nana being attacked by two Golden Core State cultivators. They were wearing Eternity Sea uniforms. Emo knew without asking that Cheng Nana probably heard he came to MOU City and wanted to come, but she was found by Eternity Sea cultivators. She was quite capable to be able to escape to the outskirts of MOU City. Cheng Nana saw Emo and them come and her face immediately rejoiced. She knew her life was saved. The two Eternity Sea cultivators saw Emo and immediately recognized him to be MOU City's City Lord, Emo. Their face grew bad. Yemo's story of killing Hollow Spirit State Level 7 Ming Wujian was spread everywhere. Even nascent Soul State cultivators were just one slap for Yemo, much less them Golden Core State cultivators. We greet City Lord Yi. The two quickly bowed. Cheng Nana quickly came up respectfully. Big brother, sister-in-law Luo Ying and Qingxue. The two greeted back but didn't have a deep impression of her. What's going on? Yemo asked Cheng Nana. Cheng Nana said, After I knew Big Brother came back to MOU City, I immediately wanted to come, but the sect knows about me seeing Big Brother at Truth Fall City, and they suspected Wu Yu's death has something to do with Big Brother. They've been watching me constantly. I found an opportunity and escaped here, but I was still caught up by them. Qian Bei, this has nothing to do with us. We were following her, but we didn't try to kill her. We're just responsible for bringing her back to the sect. One Eternity Sea cultivator quickly said. EMO sneered. You heard her. She calls me Big Brother, and from now on, she's no longer an Eternity Sea cultivator. On her account, I won't kill you today. Go back and tell your sect leader, if he still wants to scheme against me, go for it. Yes, yes, Wanbei will leave, the two quickly said and ran off without daring to coming back. Sorry, Big Brother. I brought trouble to you again, Chang Nana said worriedly. EMO waved his hand. Come back with us to MOU City first. Don't worry about Zifeng. I will look around for him. Yes, Big Brother, Chang Nana quickly said. Luoying and Ning Qingxue saw Lin Yibin rushing over from afar and immediately knew he had business with EMO. So they said, We'll take Chang Nana back first. Do what you need to do. After the three were gone, EMO looked at Lin Yibin and asked, Brother Lin, is there something? Silver Moon Pill King is here too and he has some business with you, Lin Yibin quickly said. Soon, Yu Qichao and Xin Guanqing came together. EMO quickly bowed and asked, Is there something urgent for the two Qian Bais to come find me suddenly? Xin Guanqing smiled. Can't we come to you even if there's nothing? But we really do have something. MOU City is very stable with your formations and 3 truth realization state cultivators. Marshall Brother Yu and I will help you find some people and bring a few old friends to settle here. Otherwise, we would be too lonely. EMO rejoiced. He knew these 2 Pill Kings were doing this for MOU City. How could cultivators feel lonely? Just as they were about to go, EMO suddenly thought of one thing and quickly said, 2 Qian Bais, please stop. I have something to ask.